Call the meeting to order. I'd like to make a motion that we call the Select Board meeting of September 11th. And I'd like to open that for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to open the meeting to conduct business on September 11th.
The meeting is now open. I'd just like to call here for a moment of silence. This is September 11th, commemorating 2001, I do believe.
Stand up.
Thank you. I'd like to remind everybody, we don't have to sit down because there's one more standing event. I'd like to remind everybody that this meeting is recorded by Marshfield Community Media, and if we could now, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody. I have a few comments to open up tonight's meeting with, kind of follow up on our moment of silence. Today is a day of remembrance for the tragic events that occurred in New York City on September 11, 2001. And I'd like to quote President Bush from that time. He said, "This is one of the worst days in American history, and we saw some of the bravest acts in American history. We pledge we will never forget their sacrifice." I attended a service today at the Central Fire Station with my colleagues, fire, police, other first responders, veterans, and it was a very nice commemorative service for 9/11. It's held every year on the morning of September 11th, and I invite anyone that's listening and everyone's here to come and join us next year. It was a very nice solemn ceremony. Also, in an effort to recognize the citizens that volunteer for this town and have various boards and commissions, it's a fair amount of work. It's sometimes unheralded. It is without pay. And to increase transparency in government, we're going to make sure we post all the various boards and commission members on the town website so everyone is recognized for the effort and contribution they have to the town. Also, just a little personal thing here. I did attend Saturday's rib cook-off. It is, if you don't go, they got music, it's a lot of fun, and the ribs are fantastic. I think there's like 20 vendors there. I mean, I ate so many ribs, I just had to almost go to bed that evening. Also, coming up on the 19th is going to be a joint advisory board meeting and select board meeting. And this is to review the special town meeting warrant that's coming up. And the special town meeting will be on October 16th, 2023, 7 p.m., Marshfield High School. And for everyone out there that may be listening afterwards or Zooming in now and everyone here, it's really important to show up at town meeting. This is where everything is decided, finances, all the critical issues for the town. And the more diverse group of people and the more people we have, the better government works. And then the final thing is as usual this evening, this is a select board deliberation conversation period, and the only time that public comment really is appropriate is in open meetings, and I'll read the open public meeting notices for those. And I think that is it. I will call on, I did that. Yeah. And I'll call on the town administrator to give his report, if you may, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've been participating with DPW in union negotiations, as folks know that watch our meetings. Police, fire, and DPW contracts are up, and we're in the process of renegotiating with them new 3-year deals or longer. Participated in the Plymouth Ave Pump Station rehab discussion with DPW staff and environmental partners. Participated in the first meeting on DPW Superintendent Search Committee. Participated in a meeting with Ned Bangs and the Trails Committee for an update on their activities and challenges that they face. They're all over town doing wonderful things, opening up all of our pathways so that our residents can go out and enjoy all the beautiful vistas and walking areas that are safe. Work with PMA to resolve electric room ceiling issue at the new police station. Attended the treasurer collector and town accountant pre-screening meetings to approve minutes and review potential interview questions for candidates. And we did interviews for the pre-screening, did their interviews and made a recommendation to the board for interviews this evening. We'll be hearing more on that. Attended opening of the mooring contract in the chamber with Mike DeMeo, our harbor master. Contract was awarded to the lowest bidder, Atlantic Coast Tug and Marine LLC of New Hampshire, for $115,237.55. Meeting with Fred Russell, our facilities director, to go over some town projects, police station things that need to be taken care of, DPW project, 255 Furnace Street, the preschool. That project was completed and ready just in the nick of time to get the little kids in there. Town hall project and the dog park. Conducted a meeting with the airport commission and their staff, along with our interim treasurer and town accountant, to review airport funds and funding and funds that are available for the airport. Meeting with Mike DeMeo to review the harbor dredge mooring contract and pier improvements and a new boom. Had a phone call with Eric Kinshaw to review his role in the closeout of books for fiscal '23 and certification of free cash that he's assisting us with. Meeting with Nancy Bowers and Craig Jamieson from our rec department to review recreational issues, including Coast Guard Hill fence, security cameras, and wood chips for the playground. Participated in a meeting with Rachel Ferdinand from Good Energy, general update on community electricity, and some highlights and some legislation that's up at the State House that would be beneficial to those communities like ours that are participating in community aggregate electric. Interview with candidates for treasurer-collector, a screening committee. Meeting with Jim Cantwell from Senator Markey's office, Harbor Master DeMeo, Lara Brait from the Chamber, and others from the Chamber to discuss the education program at Northeastern University regarding ocean studies, marine sciences, grant funding, and possible locations for temporary offices. Participated in ice cream social for Ann Bastille, our town accountant, on her last day of work here at Marshfield Town Hall. Participated in a bi-weekly DPW project meeting to review some outstanding issues, occupancy permit and move-in date. Now DPW is in their new building. Police negotiation with union and labor council. Participated in special select board meeting and select board public hearing involving Mr. Pasevich and the Marshfield Housing Authority. Site visit to 2160 Ocean Street with Sue Karen from Open Space and Craig Hannafin from Conservation to review that piece of land, and as folks will hear later on, the town's interested in purchasing that land to add to the South River Park. Participated in tour of Red Gold Farm development. As folks know, it's a development that is on Webster and 3A. You can get to it from both, but as part of the 111 acres that we got, we also have the farmhouse in the old barn that's now ours, so we're able to take a look at that. Meeting with Fire Chief Simpson to deal with some personnel issue. Meeting with Danielle Kerrigan regarding some personnel issues town-wide. And coordinate a meeting with Bud Dukester at Peter Igle Park and Craig Jamieson of the Recreation Department to discuss an MOU regarding Peter Igle Park. Meeting with Kate to review the draft agenda, which the board will be voting on for the warrant this evening. Meeting with Lynn Fiddler to review some town issues. Participated in an after-action fair meeting with Lieutenant Shaw at the EOC. Some improvements for next year, no major issues this year. Meeting with Andrew Stewart to discuss issues with handicap parking at the jetty. Participated in the participated in the opening of the dredging of the harbor in the select board chamber. We only had one company bid on the actual dredge. They were $400,000 over what was budgeted for, so we're going to rebid, made some modifications, took some things out, and did bid alternates. That will go back out September 13th, which is Wednesday. And the only bidder that we had to cancel was AGM Marine Contractors out of Mashpee. Meeting with Labor Council John Clifford, Fire Chief Jeff Simpson, and Danielle to discuss personnel issues. Meeting with Harbor Master DeMeo Christine Player from Fort, our consultant, dredge consultant, regarding the bid going back out and the modification changes. Meeting with Buddy Dexter and Craig and Nancy on yesterday We're getting closer on the MOU. Call into WATD for select board preview and upcoming events this week. Participated in the 9/11 memorial at the fire station hosted by Chief Simpson. Was joined by members of the board, and meeting with Danielle Kerrigan, our HR director, to review DPW union request, Labor Council, the cost out to the contractor we're negotiating. So that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Appreciate it. I do want to let people know that we're going to have an executive session this evening to discuss the strategy in respect to collective bargaining that, if conducted in open session, may have detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the town. 6:30, we are good to go on that, so we can start with our first appointments. At 6:35, we're past that. We have Mr. Dixon and Mr. Fitzgerald from Environmental Partners to talk about the Brent Rock Esplanade proposed bullnose traffic and sidewalk plan. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Nice to see you. My name is Scott Dixon. I live at 82 Ocean Street. In addition, being a resident, I'm the president of a local neighborhood association called the Original Brant Rock Village Association, and we appreciate you guys giving us a few minutes to update you on our project tonight. And to my left is Jim Fitzgerald with Environmental Partners Group. Just a couple of comments before we get into the presentation. I'm here tonight to ask for the selectmen's support for the article that the DPW will be bringing to the special town meeting in October. These are for road work and sidewalk improvements on the south end of the Esplanade. This project has come to be known locally as the Bullnose Project because of the shape of the traffic circle at the end, on the southern end of the island. The neighborhood is squarely behind the project. Our main objective as an association is to improve the safety, the look, and the economic viability of the Esplanade, which today is rather run down, as I'm sure you know. We hope to do that through both improvements in public infrastructure, like this article, as well as we're working with some of the private landowners along the Esplanade to improve the facades of their buildings and make investments that really do need to be made. We're optimistic that those conversations are fruitful and making progress. This project will make the Esplanade itself, more people-friendly. It'll slow traffic down a little bit, vehicular traffic down a little bit, but it'll be safer for pedestrians and bicyclists and others using the Esplanade at all times of year. Investment in the Esplanade in Brant Rock was listed as a top priority in the recently completed economic development section of the master plan that was completed in May of 2023. Specifically, Brant Rock was number 2 out of 10 priorities. So supporting this article is an opportunity to act very specifically on that plan. So with that, I would like to turn it over to Jim.
Thank you. Again, my name is Jim Fitzgerald. I'm with Environmental Partners, and happy to present this PowerPoint. It's actually very similar to the one we recently presented to the Village Association there in Brant Rock last week or the week before. Hoping this works. My apologies. It seems like
There we go.
So there are many goals to the project. Certainly, we're looking to improve accommodations for all modes of transportation, including motorists, bicyclists, and pedestrians. We're looking to address a lot of the delineation issues that we have in Brant Rock, where we have open, expansive amounts of pavement and a lot of confusion as far as where to go and the fast travel speeds that promotes. And we want to make sure that accommodations are continuous for pedestrians, certainly to prevent people from parking and blocking pedestrian access. And again, like I had mentioned, calming traffic down, slowing the travel speeds. So here's an aerial of the existing conditions. The north arrow is on the top right corner of this slide. You can see the waterfront is on the top of this slide here. And so what we've done is we've broken up the Brant Rock into 3 different areas for points of discussion. So we're going to start first with the southwest corner over at the intersection of Island at Ocean. And as everyone knows, just expansive amounts of pavement where it really is just kind of a free-for-all. Certainly for motorists traveling through there, encourages really fast travel through, including U-turns around there at times, and really difficult for a pedestrian to navigate through that area, and also not all that attractive either. So if here is the before, the way it looks today, and here is the after. So again, this is the bullnose concept that Scott had mentioned. What it includes is really tightening up the intersection significantly and deflecting vehicular movements in a way that calms traffic or slows movements down, really identifying where the motorists should be and where they shouldn't be. What we also need to do, obviously, is to accommodate different sized vehicles, different sized trucks, fire trucks, for instance. And so you'll notice in the center of the bullnose, that area in the light beige, is a truck mountable island. So that's where trucks would be able to mount that area, but a passenger vehicle would not want to because of its raised element and the texture of it. It would not be comfortable for a regular passenger vehicle. There are areas shown here in green, which are not to imply that that would be grass. We certainly want to make sure whatever is put in here is going to survive floods and thrive. And there's a slide a little later on about what that might include. By tightening up this intersection and providing these splitter islands along two of the approaches there, what we're doing is we are really dramatically shortening pedestrian crossings. Pedestrians will be able to cross one lane of traffic at a time without having the daunting task of crossing that expansive amount of pavement. So that's the previous slide. The bullnose is what we're calling phase one. Phase two would be the straightaway section of Ocean Street, the kind of the heart of Brant Rock. Here, as everyone is aware, it's just a lot of pavement, right? And as a result, there are these very long crosswalks that pass from side to side in excess of 80 feet long, and a lot of, with the diagonal parking spaces that are there, and the crosswalks just kind of meander through those spaces in a less than an ideal manner. On the eastern side, the coastal, the ocean side of the roadway, there is excess pavement that likely intended as sidewalks, but because they are mostly flush with the roadway, people tend to park their vehicles on those sidewalks and block access. And on the other side, where a lot of the businesses are located, the diagonal parking is a challenge for pedestrians trying to cross, because as you can see in the photo, a pedestrian trying to cross at this crosswalk from the right would have to step all the way into the roadway, get good line of sight around that large SUV before being able to know whether or not it's safe to travel. So they're well into the roadway at that point. Under proposed conditions, what we're looking to do is address that by providing curb extensions or bump outs that we're looking to maintain as much of the parking as we possibly can, while also providing safety for pedestrians. So under proposed, what we're having these bump outs or curb extensions allow the pedestrian to get to the point of where that back bumper of the SUV is before stepping foot into the roadway. So the pedestrian has a clear line of sight to oncoming traffic, and likewise to motorists approaching, and for them to see the pedestrian as well. Those long, expansive crosswalks, as a result, are chopped up into much shorter ones, in around 22 to 18 feet in length, so dramatically shorter than they are today. In the end, with this parking scheme, we counted up the number of legal parking spaces that exist in this area, and we are close, under proposed conditions, we are close to providing the same number of parking spaces. Instead of 147 parking spaces, we are around 138 with these changes. Apologies, it stopped again. Thank you. And last, the section just to the north over at Dyke Road. So here, a slide showing the existing conditions, just a lot of pavement there. Tremendously long crossing distances at the Ashburton intersection with Dyke, 95 feet. I mean, that's pretty, very long. You can see the very wide corner on there, just really promoting fast travel speeds. It just is unnecessary for the traffic that travels through. And of course, the Ocean Street, Dyke Street intersection, just to the northern side of this intersection, is a challenge as well. Very unconventional treatments where for somebody who's not familiar with the travel patterns, it's very unexpected who is stopping and who's going without having to stop. And so under proposed conditions, what we're looking to do is create a little bit more conventional treatment. We are looking for gateway treatments on either end of the road traveling through from Ocean that connects onto Dyke, providing gateway treatments in the form of median islands, shortening crossing distances, tightening corners to make sure that we accommodate the vehicles that we need to accommodate without there being excessive amount of pavement, and providing a much more conventional intersection on the top side of the slide, where the side street approach of Ocean actually has to stop like one would anticipate. So this slide just shows all the three parts of the project all together as one cohesive plan. So as far as the cost, again, we're focusing in here on phase one, the bullnose portion down on the southern side of the project. We are estimating around $990,000 for that project. We anticipate of that $990,000, that $500,000 would be funded by the Complete Streets program. The town was awarded $500,000 with an application that we had put in on May 1st and was fortunate enough to receive that grant. So that's $500,000 of the project right there. We included at the bottom of this slide a contingency of $200,000 depending on the climate for with bidding. You know, prices continue to escalate. And so we want to include that contingency in there, and that's anticipated to be coming out of Chapter 90 funds if necessary. Just want to point out those green areas I had mentioned earlier. There are all sorts of options for the treatments that could be put in there. Things that are certainly going to survive is key. Rosa rugosa, tall seagrasses, things like that. It's an opportunity for streetscape amenities, ornamental features, whether it be a large anchor, a large buoy. There's been different conversations with the Village Association on what could be in the future with those kinds of treatments, as well as ornamental pavement treatments and signs, etc. And that concludes the presentation.
Any questions, comments from my colleagues here?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming this evening, and you obviously have done a lot of work to get to this point. And I know there's been a lot of input from DPW, from the different associations over in Brant Rock, and we all are very interested in what you had to say this evening. So I'm going to start off with a couple of questions, and that is the phased approach that you have just laid out to us. Is there a reason for starting on one versus the other, and can you explain the process going from that first phased approach to your second proposed and to your third, and the costs associated with it? So if you would just start
Sure,
there,
yes,
that'd be great.
certainly. So the southern end was identified as the priority collectively as a group because of its open, expansive nature. Right now, it is so extremely wide open and really of need of improvement and providing connections for pedestrians. So that's how that portion was identified as phase one collectively, as I had mentioned. From there, we would anticipate Phase 2 being the part that connects to that, it seems to be the practical way to go before we continue northerly. So the straightaway section is what was envisioned as Phase 2. Phase 3 would be the dike intersections and fixing that up there on the northern end. The total construction for all 3 phases is approximately 3.8 or so million dollars. That number is being refined as we advance in the design. The design is being finalized right now, so that's our big push, right? It is to finalize the design and come up with a more precise construction estimate, of course, all dependent on what we get for bid prices on the job, so. And we're looking forward to a bid out in December.
So then, if we're talking about the Phase 2, I think that in Phase 3, then I think for the purposes of what we're here tonight and where you're going to town meeting to request funding, et cetera, that maybe we just concentrate on Phase 1 versus me asking you questions about going from 4 pathways across, i.e. sidewalks, to 2 and all those little nitty-gritty things.
Sure.
So I think I'm going to offer up my questions to my colleagues, and we'll see where that goes. So
Great.
thank you.
Thanks.
Selectman Darcy.
Thank you. Jim, I thought the pictures you had and the angles you took were great and very helpful in conveying the complexity of the area. For the slide that you had on the future street side amenities or streetscape amenities, which do you think would have the best value in terms of holding up over time with all the flooding that occurs in that area, and would have, I guess, in combination with that, the best aesthetics?
That's a very good question, and we've had a lot of conversations about that. Certainly, traditional grass is great, but if it's not going to survive, dead grass is very unattractive, right? That's why in that slide I had included Rosa rugosa and the tall sea grasses with kind of a coastal, play up the coastal with the sand would probably do the best in all reality, I would anticipate. That's why we had shown those images.
Thank you. And Scott, I just wanted to say that I think because you know how to work with people and build bridges, you made a lot of headway, and that your membership should be very happy with the job you're doing right now.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Steve.
I want to thank you for coming as well. This has certainly been a long time coming. I'm happy that we've gotten to this point. I know we now have 3 phases, and we're identifying Phase 1. We have the funding laid out. We have the budget pretty well laid out. So now it'll be up to town meeting. Once again, that was kind of my presentation earlier this evening. It's very important for everyone to participate and come out and to support the various infrastructure projects that we have for this town. So thank you for the presentation.
Thank
Chair,
you.
if may, if I may.
Yes, you may.
So this evening, you also have a member of the DPW, Tom Reynolds,
Yes.
here with us. So I'd like
Hey,
to
Tom.
just ask Tom if he'd like to provide the board with any input.
Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Of course,
thank
Tom,
you.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you back there. I
Well,
apologize.
I was hiding in the back.
You were behind the
Yeah.
there.
Oh, thank you. Tom Reynolds, Superintendent, DPW. We've been at this for a few years now, a couple different designs and a lot of meetings. We were fortunate enough to get a grant for the Complete Streets for $497,000. And we're asking at the special town meeting for $250,000 to help. It's about 25% of the total cost. That's what we're asking for, and that we would use some Chapter 90 money to balance it off. So we're hoping for the support of the board. I know we've got to go to town meeting, get a positive vote there also, but I thank you for taking the opportunity to listen to the presentation. I know it's a well-needed project down there for pedestrian and for traffic safety. It's kind of a free-for-all in that intersection, and that's why we wanted to concentrate on that intersection. Also knowing the cost of the total project and the restrictions that we might be under in in the coming years financially. So we're looking at any opportunity we can get I know there's new programs that Mass DOT has for some roads, shovel-ready projects, so we're looking into that. Any grant opportunity we can get, we want to put towards this project. And I know Complete Streets, we have to wait, take a few years off in between applying again to get that additional $500,000 again. So any opportunity we can get to find funding, that's what we're going to try. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
If I could just add to the record, so we have Article 8, and you'll be standing up
Yes.
for the DPW for item number 22, which is Complete Streets, Brant Rock, Esplanade Traffic, and Improvement Project Phase 1 for $250,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right, very good, thank you.
Great. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. A couple of house cleaning items, just people that I should have probably mentioned earlier. If you're here for action item 2, debt exclusion for school roofs, and 3, those are both stricken for the evening, as well as item 20, which was a discussion vote to fill an opening we have in the Marshfield Housing Authority. So just want to make sure. And then was waiting for that, you don't have to go through item number 20. Next, 640, we're plenty good shape for that. This is M&M South Shore Hospitality LLC, doing business as Station 8 to the Salt Marsh Restaurant Group LLC, DBA Station 8, application for the transfer of an annual all-alcohol restaurant license, common vic license, and entertainment license. And just let people know that, as I said this the last time, that one of the previous owners does live on my street.
Good evening.
You have the floor, gentlemen. Thank you for coming in this evening.
Yep, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is John Aida McDermott Quilton Miller, located at 28 State Street in Boston. With me is Thomas Holloway. Tom is a co-owner and the proposed manager of record of Salt Marsh Restaurant Group LLC. And to his far right in the audience is Brian Schwanke. He's also the co-owner. Collectively, Brian and Tom have over 50 years' experience in the restaurant industry. Just briefly by way of that experience, Brian, who as I said is seated in the audience, is a former vice president of Legal Seafoods, former senior vice president of Bertucci's. He is a former prior owner of the Clam Box in Quincy, which he owned for 18 years, which held a alcohol license. He's the current owner of TK O'Shea's in Rockland, which also holds a alcohol license. Tom, in addition to Brian, he is also the co-owner of TK O'Shea's in Rockland. And he is a former partner, director of operations, and chef at Rustic Kitchen, as well as a former corporate training chef at Legal Seafoods. I'm sure I missed a few along the way, but as you can see, they have quite the experience here. So this is a straightforward turnkey transfer from the existing owners at Station 8. The intention is to keep the business the same. They're going to make a few cosmetic changes, probably tweak some items on the menu, but for the most part, anyone going in there will recognize the same type of fare and ambiance. No other changes to the seating plan or operations other than that. Obviously, this is a completely new ownership, and that's going to be the largest change here. Another part of this is we've also applied for entertainment license. Again, we're looking for the same type of entertainment that's presently been listed, which is jukebox, television, recorded and live music, as well as dancing by patrons. They do enjoy entertainment from time to time, whether it's a band or an act at this location, so they'd like to keep that going as well. Tom's had the opportunity to be in there for some time, preparing to take over, so he's eager to finally get this approved and be able to take over, hopefully in a few short weeks. So if you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer those.
I'd like to open it up to my peers.
I just would like to add,
Please do.
in the very beginning, you mentioned your neighbor was, for your
Yeah, they're on the
disclosure.
street, yeah.
My family were previous owners, so I
Sure.
believe I mentioned that in the
Okay,
previous.
sure.
I just wanted to make sure
Thank you.
you were aware of that. So Station 8 has been in front of us several times, so I'm glad to see this is kind of hopefully.
Right.
We're at the
We
end
hope so
of
too.
that-
Yeah,
that
yeah.
rope?
We've been patient. We hope so too.
Yes,
We
I
think we'll finally get this over the finish line, so.
Okay. All right. So other than your papers seem to be in order, I've looked at them. Appreciate you coming in
Thank you.
front of us again for these two reasons. Thank you.
Selectman Darcy?
No, all the paperwork looks good, so no questions.
Yeah, I looked through it as well, the queries, purchase and sales, lease, all the normal stuff that is here. I don't have any questions as well. So without further discussion, I would like to make a motion to the board, move to approve the transfer of the annual all alcohol license and common vic license from M&M South Shore Hospitality LLC DBA Station 8, Anthony Calabrese, the third manager, to Salt Marsh Restaurant Group LLC DBA Station 8, James F. Holloway, manager, premises located at 1899 Ocean Street, Building A, Marshfield, Mass. 02050. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to transfer the annual all alcohol license from M&M South Shore Hospitality to Salt Marsh Restaurant Group LLC.
Yeah, thank you.
Do we need a separate vote on the entertainment, or?
Oh, we're going to do the entertainment vote too? Okay, yes. My error, I do
that's right, I didn't
I do
leave yet.
apologize. That was my fault. So I'd also like to make a motion to the board to approve an indoor entertainment license for Salt Marsh Restaurant Group LLC, Thomas Holloway, manager, DBA Station 8, located 1899 Ocean Street, Building A, with the following entertainment, which we previously outlined: jukebox, dancing by patrons, live music, television, recorded music for Sunday through Saturdays. It's 11 a.m. to 12:45 a.m., pending sign-off of the Marshfield Police Department, Board of Health, and the Marshfield Fire Department. I'd look for a second.
Building department.
Building Department. Building Department and Building Department.
Marshfield, yeah. I'll second that.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the indoor entertainment license.
Okay, thank you very much,
I
appreciate
think
it.
that's all of them. I
Thank
didn't
you.
miss the other one.
Nope, you're all set.
Thank you for coming in. I look forward to having a great business.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I think there might still be some folks here for action items 2 and 3. It might be helpful to have a town administrator perhaps explain why these articles are being postponed temporarily, if that,
Mr. Administrator,
I can do that.
is that something you would be able to
So,
do for the citizens?
Yes, I am.
Please carry on.
Chairman. So if anyone's here for Article 2, that was a debt exclusion for school roof. That's part of the photovoltaics. In order to put photovoltaics on the school roofs, I want to bring the roofs up to 25 years of life expectancy. We're not going to do that right now. The roofs they can get by at least another year, and we'll wait. By then, the capped landfill will be hopefully up and running. The revenue from that will cover the cost of the membrane that will go on the roofs that will get us the other 25 years. So we're holding off on that right now, and we'll pick back up hopefully next year at this time.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next, 6:45, we're ahead again. Northeast Hospitality Group, LLC, DBA Cask and Flag, an application for change of ownership, interest, and insurance transfer for the new stockholder of an annual all-alcohol restaurant license, and this is a public meeting, and I think I messed up on the last one. I did not read the public meeting notice. Should I read it now?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll do 2 public meeting notices so that we just make that official. The notice is hereby given, Chapter 138 of the Massachusetts General Laws as amended. There will be a public hearing on Monday, September 11th, 2023 at 6:40 PM in the Select Board Chamber, Marshfield Town Hall, 870 Marine Street, Marshfield, Mass. On the application transfer of an all-alcohol license, common vic license, entertainment license from M&M Hospitality LLC, DBA Station 8, Anthony Calabrese III, manager to the Salt Marsh Restaurant Group LLC, DBA Station 8, Thomas Holloway, premises located at 1899 Ocean Street. And I'll look at the screen here now that I've read the official notice and see if anyone from the public does want to comment on this public hearing. Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the next public notice. Is a notice hereby given under Chapter 138 of the Massachusetts General Laws as amended that there will be a public hearing on Monday, September 11th, 2023, at 6:45 PM in the Select Board Chamber, Marshfield Town Hall, 870 Marine Street, Marshfield 02050, on the application for change of ownership, interest, insurance, and transfer of stock, new stockholder of an annual all-alcohol license for Northeast Hospitality Group LLC, DBA Cask and Flagon, Dana W. Van Fleet, manager. Premises located at 804 Plain Street, Marshfield, Massachusetts. And
Thank you.
gentlemen have the floor.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. Jeff DeLisi, I'm here with Dana Van Fleet, who is the manager of the limited liability company, which is the applicant. Very briefly, Jennifer Camerata is and has been basically the manager of the restaurant group for some period of time. She's been a valued member, and what we're trying to accomplish with this transaction is to add her formally to the LLC so that we could encourage her to stay. So essentially, that's it. What we're doing is a very small stock transfer, which is going to be 2.5% of the Class B shares of the LLC, which she will purchase. And I think our documents are in order. We've checked the boxes. Corey's will be done. It's about as simple as that. It's really a paper transaction that the state requires when you change ownership or transfer shares of a liquor license holder. So that's pretty much it.
All right, I'll turn this over to my peers, Vice Chair.
Just identify yourself for the record.
Jeff DeLisi,
Thank you.
Orenberger, DeLisi, and Harris. Did I miss that?
I'm not sure I was actually looking at
Okay.
spilling the water here.
I think
Yeah.
there was a little crisis here in the beginning.
Oh,
A little bit.
I heard something
I
over
think you
there.
were to yourself the other. It's a little wet
I
back
usually
here.
prepare. I just want to bring to your attention, so on your proposed officer stock and ownership interest form, it says 48.75 for both of your managers. However, at the addendum A, it has 48.5. So
Yeah, so,
I'm sure you've already,
yeah, it has to do with the fact that there's both a Class A and a Class B
okay,
interests. So in the aggregate, they add up, but I think that this is what you're talking about. Of the Class A, Dana and Bruce split their 80% ownership, and then the other 20% ownership in the company is Class B. Of the 20%, Dana and his brother split 97%, and Jennifer will be 2.5.
Okay.
And I think that probably will clarify that, but I will check. And I
Okay.
appreciate you bringing that to my attention.
All right.
Thank you.
So I think all the paperwork is in order, and other than that particular point, I think we're
Thank you.
Yeah, in the aggregate, it's straightforward, so.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's a lot of math there.
it's hard for me. So,
all I know is 2 + 2 usually equals 4, or.
It's new math.
I had about 5 calls with the CPA about that particular issue.
You feel better, don't you?
Well, no.
Any members here? Any members from the public on Zoom that wish to comment on this hearing? Hearing none. Secretary Darcy, you good?
Yep.
All right. Then I would like to make a motion that the board moves to approve the change of ownership of interest in the Northeast Hospitality Group, DBA Cask and Flagon, located at 804 Plain Street, from Dana W. Van Fleet, manager and member with a 50% ownership, and Bruce N. Van Fleet, fourth, manager and member with a 50% ownership, to Dana W. Van Fleet, manager and member with a 48.75 ownership, Bruce N. Van Fleet, the fourth, manager and member with a 48.5 ownership, and now Jennifer M. Camerata, am I pronouncing it right?
That's correct.
Camerata?
Yep.
Will be a new member with a 2.5% ownership, and would like to look for a second for that.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fidler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the change of ownership interest for Northeast Hospitality Group, DBA Cask and Flagging.
All right. Then we have,
Thanks.
do we have a
Appreciate
second, we have a second motion, I believe, here?
Yes.
Yeah. We have a second motion. So I'd like to make a motion, the board moves to approve the change of stock transfer issuance for the Northeast Hospitality Group, DBA Cask and Flagging, located at 804 Plain Street from Dana Van Fleet, manager and member with a 50% ownership, and Bruce N. Van Fleet, the fourth manager and member with a 50% owner, to Dana W. Van Fleet, manager and member with a 48.75% ownership, Bruce N. Van Fleet, fourth manager and member with a 48.5 membership, and Jennifer M. Camerata, member with a 2.5% ownership. And I would like to have a second for that stock transfer.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fidler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous approval for change of stock transfer ownership.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Thank
Thanks for coming in.
Have a
I
great
enjoy
night.
the restaurant. I think we have now a guest speaker. 6:50, we're definitely behind time. All right, update on the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce. If you'd come on up, introduce yourselves, and welcome.
Hi, everybody. I am Lara Brait. Do you want my address? 24 Grace Lane. I'm the executive director of the Marshfield Chamber. I know that I've worked with you guys individually on project or you've attended some of our events, but it's nice to be here to give you an overview, especially since I think there's 2 new members since last time I was here in this capacity. I also wanted to point out 2 of our board members that are here with me. This is Jeremy Devaney, who's current chairman, and our current treasurer, Phil Bashcroft. Feel free to jump in, guys, if you don't like what I'm saying. You can, oh, I have a remote. All right, here we go.
They don't always work.
What? Okay, that's okay. I'm not going to read the whole presentation. I'm going to talk while it's going, just for time. The Marshfield Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit 501c6 organization. Often people ask the difference between a 501c3 and a 501c6. 501c3s are typically nonprofits that are charitable organizations, and a 501c6 is a nonprofit that are mainly business or membership nonprofits, which is what the chamber is. The Marshfield Chamber is an independent private organization that is overseen by a board of directors. We currently have 15 board members and 3 full-time employees. You will see on the slide ahead that we have members from 19 different communities across the Commonwealth. So what that means is that we have members from all different towns, not just from Marshfield. We typically host our events and service Marshfield businesses, but we do invite businesses from other towns to participate in our events, such as we have Lobster Fest coming up, and that event is attended by, I think it's 40 or 50 different towns are represented there. The Marshfield Chamber was recently recognized by Senator Patrick O'Connor as one of the most vibrant chambers in his district. Currently, we have 275 members, and our events have attracted over 7,500 people. We recently secured $83,000 in grant money that we invested directly back into our community. People always ask, well, in what ways did you do that? So I'll move on to that. You can see up on the screen here, this is some of our initiatives, not all of them. I couldn't fit them all up there, but these are our most popular ones that you may or may not have heard of. To help businesses recover post-COVID, we launched our Open for Business campaign with $50,000 that we received from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts from a grant that we had written. This campaign was a true public-private partnership that showcased the importance of supporting local businesses and regenerating the economy. Surveys were done to ask our member businesses what they needed to stand back up after COVID, and we then used those funds to provide microgrants to assist with that process. Also during COVID, the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce joined the United Way, which most of you have probably heard of, to create the Marshfield Community Fund, of which $25,000 was raised and dispersed between the Boys and Girls Club of Marshfield, Sowing Seeds, and the Marshfield Food Pantry. Along with supporting businesses and the local economy, the Marshfield Chamber is committed to servicing all members of our community, especially those in need. Our membership base is very diverse. We have businesses with thousands of employees all the way to members who operate out of their garages and homes. One of our organizational goals for 2022 was to diversify our programming to expand our reach. We're consistently evaluating to ensure that we're providing up-to-date and valuable programming. Sorry, there's like a fruit fly in my face, so I keep going like this.
I know you're not waving it.
Yeah. We host regular networking opportunities at various member locations throughout town. We believe that networking increases opportunities for lead generation, partnerships, and collaborations. Some of the most successful partnerships in town have come from local professionals attending our events and building relationships. One of the programs that you'll see up here is our internship program, one of our most popular. It's a partnership with Marshfield High School. This program was founded by one of our board members, Laurel Egan Kenny, over 10 years ago. For the last 6 weeks of school, high school seniors are sent into the workforce. When students apply for the program, they are instructed to choose 3 different career paths that they are interested in. During the process of being accepted into the program, students are required to interview with potential hosts to ensure a good fit. This program helps them to gain real-world experience, and the program serves as a bridge between education and employment. We find our interns often bring fresh perspectives and updated academic knowledge into the workplace. Up here, you'll also see Leaders of the Year. That's a partnership that's been going on in Marshfield for over 50 years. It was originally a partnership between the Chamber and the Marshfield Mariner. Unfortunately, as we all know, the Marshfield Mariner is no more. It still exists online, but it's not in print anymore. But we did have James Cuxtus join us this year to present our awards. Some of you guys were in attendance. So it's great to recognize those people every year. They're doing great work in our community. I think 2 years ago, we decided to also honor a Business Leader of the Year. It had always been Citizen of the Year, but being a business organization, we decided that we had so many great businesses, new entrepreneurs, we wanted to showcase their work as well. So we added that in. We host 2 merchant markets per year, which are fall and summer, that give some of our smaller businesses opportunities to sell their goods. We provide that to them for free, and they can set up their stuff and sell at Stellwagen Brewery. I wanted to mention that Stellwagen also offers their space to us for free, so that's one of the collaborations that we have throughout the town. Up here in the middle, you'll see the Webster Walkability Initiative. I know that some of you guys are familiar with that. That was created in 2018 by former chairwoman Alyssa McNamara. At that time, the Chamber brought a petition to town meeting requesting that the town adopt the Complete Streets program. I heard that mentioned a few times before, so I was excited that it's actually working now. The mission of Webster Walkability Initiative was to create a more vibrant, safe, walkable town center. In collaboration with the Select Board, the DPW, local business owners, and the Marshfield Police Department, we've been able to make some progress in that section of Marshfield. Stop signs, removable speed humps, lighted crosswalk signs, and a small pocket park right outside the library have been added. The playground parking lot and the Levitate parking lot were also redesigned and repaved. We're still waiting on our friends at the DPW for some finishing touches in the Levitate parking lot, but we're confident that that will happen soon. We continue to support the town efforts on economic development by assisting with communication to our membership. Also up there is our Women in Business program. This group was revitalized by one of our board members, our now Vice President, Jessica Ponyurko. Our Women in Business partners with nonprofit members to do on-site work at their locations. A couple of examples of this are a work day at Alice's house on Hummerock Beach, classes at Ferry Hill, and we had a collaboration at the Senior Center with our friends at the Council on Aging. This is a great way to introduce our membership to nonprofits in town that need support and gives the nonprofits an opportunity to share their missions with our members. We've found that this partnership ignites conversations regarding work-life balance, which is very important in our society today. Our events and programming are all thoughtfully curated around our board meeting table with intention. The Chamber serves as a champion for community well-being, and we advocate for policies that are not only business-friendly, but we recognize the needs of the community. On the next slide, you will see a list of organizations that we currently have partnerships with. You'll see that there's all types of businesses there, from other chambers of commerce to colleges in the city, our local TV and radio stations as well. We rely heavily on our partners for the success of our organization. Our community is only as strong as the people who are in it, and we rely on them to fulfill our mission. On the next couple slides, I just threw up some pictures here of different things that we've had over the past few years. You'll see people receiving citations from public officials. Up there is myself giving a check to Mr. Moresco for Community Christmas. There's people handing out food during COVID when we did the Community Fund project. There's our friends at the Senior Center over on the left-hand side. Some paving, some of our interns, all different stuff that we host all throughout the year. This here behind the business is one of our newest projects that we're working on. I actually stole this idea from the Hilton Head Bluffton Chamber of Commerce when I went down there for vacation. They have one of the most successful chambers in the country, and this is something that they do for their members. So we brought that idea back here, and I thought that this would be a fun one to show you guys because these people don't have a brick and mortar building. They run this building, they run this business right out of their home. So this is something that you wouldn't necessarily hear about or see while you're driving around town. So if we could just play that real quick for everybody to see. Hopefully there's sound.
Hi, I'm Kaylin Benson.
And I'm Casey Laddie, and we are the owners of Fable Vintage and Curated Rentals.
Fable is a rental shop where we source some vintage pieces, some curated pieces to really bring out a whole event setup. And what we do is work with Hi, I'm Kaylin Benson.
And I'm Casey Laddie, and we are the owners of Fable Vintage and Curated Rentals.
Fable is a rental shop where we source some vintage pieces, some curated pieces to really bring out a whole event setup. And what we do is work with clients.
I can always send it to you guys to watch later.
We also offer packages online. And a lot of the time we find our pieces at the flea market.
He's getting there.
What?
He's getting there.
All right.
I can see him.
I don't want to put too much
It's
pressure
pretty
on.
interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
But sometimes technology
Yeah.
doesn't
I know.
just doesn't want to cooperate. When it does, and everyone loves it. But when it doesn't, can I ask you a question while
Sure.
we're doing this?
Yeah.
Laura? So we're all aware of the potential for inclement weather, and I know it's a nightmare for you.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
We do have a meeting tomorrow.
I'll be there.
You're coming as well, 2 o'clock, yeah, for preparation.
Yep.
Have you any thoughts, comments you'd like to make on that at this point, or is it too premature? Because, sometimes they get tomorrow wrong.
So I'm holding my comments until Wednesday.
Okay.
I'll make a determination on Wednesday what the plan is.
Okay. Might want to determine until Friday, because they get tomorrow wrong all the time.
Guys, you can skip this slide if you want. We can send it to them later.
Yeah. Just that one didn't work.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, say, that's all you need to
Yeah.
say. Why'd you wait so long?
No, it's good. Thank you.
And I'm Casey Laddie, and we are the owners of Fable Vintage and Curated Rentals.
Fable is a rental shop where we source some vintage pieces, some curated pieces to really bring out a whole event setup. And what we do is work with clients. We have them create a wish list. We also offer packages online. And a lot of the time we find our pieces at the flea market located here in Marshfield. Sometimes we go to estate sales. We store all of the vintage rentals in our barn.
And we do all this to create our client's vision.
A lot of the pieces include thrifted chairs, vintage couches, found items like old cameras. We also have a wide assortment of textiles.
My love for vintage pieces stems from my father. I grew up in a house built in the early 1800s. He would drive me to school events in old cars. And when I got married on his property, we decided to source all of the decor from his personal collection. And he has quite a collection that he's been working on for years. And it really brought this real personalization and uniqueness to my wedding that my friends still talk about today.
We met when I had called for my wedding, and we actually kind of collaborated from there and started the business in October 2022.
Kaylin and I run every aspect of it, from the phone consultation to sourcing the products and the actual delivery and setup of the items, which our clients really love because it adds a personal feeling and they're not just a number to a bigger delivery company. Kaylin and I are really invested in their day and want to make it a wonderful experience.
We collaborate with a lot of other Marshfield businesses. One of them is Buds. Buds is a florist right in town. So having these great resources in Marshfield makes it a lot easier for us to run our business and be collaborative. The picnic is a new package that we've created, and we want to start using our pieces in a different way to really highlight these items in a fun and surprising way.
This is our 1931 Woody. It can be used to transport the bride from the church to their ceremony. We've had people just use it as a display piece at their wedding, and it just adds that extra special touch.
This is just one of the vehicles that we offer. These cars can really just elevate your space and be that talking point, and people will remember your event for years to come. I would encourage women and any business owner to start their business in Marshfield because it's such a friendly community.
The Chamber has really introduced us to quite a few women-owned businesses in the area that are very supportive of each other.
And meeting these women, it's nice to kind of talk about, their strengths and weaknesses and really learning from one another and kind of uplifting each other.
Thank you. So thanks for watching that. That was just one example of one of the businesses that you wouldn't normally know about, as you were driving through town. So, we have this amongst a million other things that are going on all the time, but I don't know where we are with this, but that's the last slide there that you can just read, on your own. But we're working really hard at the Chamber, and we're here to support the community. So I'm open to taking any questions if you would like.
First of all, thanks for coming in.
Sure.
I personally believe the chambers, and I think I speak for the board, serve a very important function. And I think Marshfield is a great example of a chamber that's very well managed and does an excellent job. So I want to take this time to thank you and all your members for the work you do to help out the town of Marshfield and for this evening's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to thank you as well and let you know that me personally, I find it refreshing to have such a wide variety of businesses from the town and our surrounding communities, because it is what the fabric of how we get our community to thrive, and it's so important that we understand what you do. And so I've learned several things this evening, so I appreciate you coming and sharing that with us. And
thank you.
Same to your cohorts here. So I appreciate it. Thank
Thanks.
And, so outside of the weather, did you want to talk about the impact that Lobster Fest has in our community and what it's meant to showcase?
Sure. So I talked a little bit earlier about events with intention, right? So when I first came on over 5 years ago, the Chamber hosted a lot of different events, and after board meetings and discussions, we realized that we wanted to have one specific event that kind of showcased what Marshfield was and highlighted some of its greatest resources. So again, under Alyssa's leadership, we developed Lobster Fest, and I don't know if any of you were there the first year, but I thought that we probably would get about 500 people. And we ended up with 5,000. So we ran out of food, we ran out of drinks, people were mad. But on the opposite side of that, all of our vendors sold out of their goods. It was the busiest day that they had their entire year. The restaurants in Brant Rock, where they sold out as well. So it wasn't all negative. There is a bigger picture with economic development with us having Lobster Fest, especially in September. I know it's hurricane season and it's not a great time, but if you look at it from the perspective of us being a tourist community, this is the end of our summer, right? So all the summer people, they kind of pack up and go home, and we have the intention of giving Brant Rock, one of our business zones, a big boost at the end of the year to help carry them through. Chuck from Haddad's always tells us that that is his second busiest day next to the MEF 5K race day. So we recognize the impact that that has on our local families and local businesses, and we want to continue to bring people to Marshfield. So next time, they're going out to dinner, maybe they'll go to the Jetty, maybe they'll go to Haddad's, maybe they'll go to the Venus. And the intent also with our timing is that our event's 11 to 4, so we host it hoping that people will leave our event and go eat dinner at one of our local establishments. So not only are we supporting, the fishing community and the local restaurants, but we're providing a fun day for families and showcasing all the Chamber has to offer.
So I thank you for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. We'll pray for good weather.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
I know. So next we move on to the applications for interviews for treasurer collector position. We've been working on this for a few months now, Mo?
Yes, that is
Right?
correct, Mr. Chairman.
And for the members of the select board and audience that have not had the pleasure of participating in this interview process, I'm going to let each applicant maybe describe themselves a little briefly, highlight their experiences, and, tell us how they're prepared for the interview. Our first applicant is John Strobel. He has entered the room. Sorry for the delay. This is a really busy evening here.
It's understandable, and I appreciate you taking the time to, entertain my candidacy for this valuable position here in
Yeah.
the town of Marshfield.
And, sorry, and so I just want to say, next steps after this is, we'll need to, once a position is offered, that we'll do normal background checks, things like that, and then, of course, we'll have negotiation over the exact contract language before everything becomes official for the hire. So I just want to make sure everyone understands next steps as well. And now I'm sorry for interrupting you. You have the floor. If you could just quickly maybe, tell us briefly about yourselves for the other members of the audience and highlight your experiences and how you prepared for this evening.
Sure. My name is Sean Strobel. I started my public career working for the city of Portland, Maine, about 18 years ago. I acted as the Deputy Director of Treasury for the largest city in the state of Maine. The city of Portland is a very diverse community where we have not only a municipal jetport, a working waterfront, a fish pier. We have so many different enterprise funds, water and sewer, to fish auctions. There's so many different entities that make up the city of Portland. So from there, I had an opportunity to become the treasurer for the city of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. So Rhode Island is special to me, so I decided to take that opportunity. Pawtucket was a distressed community. It was an opportunity to look at their delinquent receivables, to help the community become more fiscally stronger, and there was a lot of challenges, a lot of heavy lifting. During my career there, I was able to impact the bond rating by 2 spots within a year and a half. The city is very stable at this point, and then I took an opportunity with the town of Sharon as the treasurer collector for that community as well. I was there for over a year, and then I was invited to come and work at the city of Worcester, where I've been for the past 6 months. In Worcester right now, we're going through a lot of systems changes, implementations with Workday, as well as Tyler, Munis, Vertex One for utility billing, as well as an HCM component with the Kronos or another vendor to be determined. So I have a pretty broad experience with not only municipal operations, but also finance operations as well.
Thank you. So I think how we might do this is we'll just, we have a few questions. Questions are the same for both candidates. Maybe I'll start to my left, and we'll just, if that's all right with you, so Darcy, we'll just go around circles until we finish the questions.
Okay, fine.
Would you like to
Well,
open it up then?
Thank you.
Welcome. I'm happy to see you and get a chance to ask you a few questions. So this evening we have, I believe, 6 questions. And I'll start with question number 1. With all the available treasurer-collector positions across the Commonwealth, why have you specifically chosen to apply to the town of Marshfield? Question number 1. And what does our community offer you in terms of motivation?
So
Two questions.
Marshfield's a beautiful community, but it speaks to my heart as far as being close to the ocean. So the natural resources that you have here, the 5 miles of really pristine beaches, the coastline is absolutely gorgeous here. So that is very attractive. Not only that, but the dynamic community that you have here as well, with the working waterfront, as well as the commercial district that you have along Route 139, as well as the residential mix that you have. I really motivated by the fact that I could become a finance director. That's really the next step in my career. Right now, I'm just treading water in the city of Worcester. So I'm really looking to advance my career, but also grow with the community.
So what does our community offer you in terms of motivation? You would, again, say,
The opportunity to grow and grow into a finance director's position, but also become more acquainted with the community as well as making it more better for the residents, for the constituents that reside here.
okay, thank you for that response.
Great. So a major aspect of this position is addressing a department's head questions on their specific budget. And so my question is, can you describe your preferred communication style and then your budgeting experience as well?
So my preferred communication style, I would first ask for an email to try to detail as much as they possibly can as far as their question, what area of the budget are they concerned about. And then I would maybe ask to have a face-to-face meeting to go over the specifics. I have many, many years of budgeting experience, whether it be in a public capacity or in a private capacity. So in a municipal setting, I've worked with budgets as large as $880 million, which is the current budget that I'm working with now, and as small as about $110 million. It could be anywhere from costing out. I've been involved with many CBA negotiations. I've been a president of a union as well as on the other side of the table representing the administration. So from a costing perspective, as well as analyzing their expenses to see maybe where there's a shortfall or maybe there's an override somewhere that needs to be executed. When I've worked in both Portland as well as Pawtucket, overtime was a big issue, and budgeting for that overtime accurately was a grave concern because it always impacted whether or not we were in a deficit or surplus at the end of the year.
Thank you.
Could you describe your understanding of the following and the treasurer collector's role in each? I'm not going to make you remember them, all right? So I'll read them for you just so you know what they are.
Okay.
And then I'll articulate them in order for you, okay? One is and once again, your understanding and following the role
Yeah.
in each. Annual town meeting, special town meeting, which is just a small town meeting.
Yeah.
Free cash certification process, levy limit, Cherry Street. Cheap.
Okay, so typically for the annual town meeting, the treasurer would represent and clarify, provide that level of transparency for the constituents. So if there's a question that arises or there's a balance that's questioned or information that's needed, that is really the role of the treasurer. Just really the accounting aspect of what's going on in the community.
Special town meeting,
It's pretty much the same.
I think you're going to do a ditto on that, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I mean, depending on the nature of the special town meeting, let's say, for example, it's to discuss budgets or there's a transfer that needs to happen. The treasurer would be present to explain why that variance is there and why there needs to be a transfer during a budget cycle or a budget reallocation. The free cash certification process, that's a process where I work with the town accountant to determine what the balances are from a cash perspective as well as an outstanding receivable perspective, and filing that with the DOR to see and to certify the free cash. The levy limit, it's the 2.5%, working with the tax assessor, identifying growth, whether it be from a residential or commercial perspective, and ensuring that we're not going over the 2.5%, maybe equalizing the rate to ensure that we're within those statutory limits. And as far as the cherry sheet, that's for state aid. So it's Chapter 70 for your local education, could be general assistance, library, and sales tax share. So there's a kind of a profit sharing with the sales tax.
Thank you.
Thank you. So moving on to question number 4. Based on what you know about our existing financial policies and fiscal schedule, how would you ensure and foster proper communication with the town administrator in regards to financial reporting? That's the first part of this question. I'll start, and then once you respond, I'll do the second. So again, how would you ensure and foster proper communication with the town administrator in regards to financial reporting?
So it really is just an exchange of information between myself and the town administrator. So I would first want to seek out what information is being sought out by the town administrator, and providing that information in a format that's easily readable, but at the same time informative. I don't want to provide too much information where he's just looking for something very specific. So for example, investments. Depending on how fund investments are performing, some town administrators want to look at the overall portfolio of investments, whether it be just your regular MMDA accounts to your trust accounts, your OPEB, things of that, stabilization, things of that nature. That can be reported to the town administrator on a monthly basis. It could be reported on a quarterly basis, just depends on the frequency of the information that's requested. Same thing with the select board. It depends, what information you're seeking. So it's really just about communication, working with the town administrator, working with the select board as for what information you're seeking. I think budget and year-to-date performance on the budgets is probably a pretty hot topic in most communities, trying to keep those budgets in check. So that's something that you probably would want to have on a pretty frequent basis, just to monitor expenditures and performance as far as revenue collections are concerned.
Okay, so the second part of this question was, please give us an example of the types of financial reports you would present the TA with, and when and what frequency would you present them? And you clearly just answered that question in part, so.
Yeah, it really just depends.
Expand.
Yeah, it really just depends on the information that everyone is seeking. I'm happy to provide information at any frequency. With systems today, we can press a button and out spits the information and just put it into Excel and sort it however it needs to be sorted. But for example, some administrations like to see the expenditures. They want to know overtime, what's being spent on overtime. They want to know salaries. They want to know investments as far as what is the actual percentage that the town's receiving, what's the performance of the trusts. I don't know if there is a trust group here where trusts are reviewed and then scholarships are granted, and then there's a process where that committee actually awards the school department with so many awards as far as scholarships are concerned. So there's a lot of reporting that can take place. It's just a matter of what information do you want to seek, and I'm certainly happy to provide it in whatever format is easy.
Thank you.
So what do you know about the town of Marshfield's bond rating, and what would be your plan to either maintain that bond rating or potentially increase it as well?
So AA+, I believe, is S&P. When I looked at the Moody's, it hadn't been updated since 2014, if I'm not mistaken. It was AA3 or AA2, excuse me. One way that I would ensure that the bond rating is maintained, and if we can somehow increase it, is by the collection rate, OPEB performance. Lately, environmental, as far as environmental impact and what we're doing to mitigate. So building seawalls, which is something I know the town's involved with. Looking at climate, but cybersecurity is another point of contention. So all those factors combined will not only help maintain the rating, but could also increase it.
Thank you.
Number 6. How would you describe your management style?
I believe in empowerment and collaboration. So I would empower my staff to make decisions. Like I had shared before, I believe in allowing them the ability, where it's statutorily appropriate, to make decisions, and if they weren't the best decisions, we'd sit down and talk about it. It's an opportunity not only for them to learn, but at the same time, it's a growth opportunity for them as well, to take some responsibility.
Specifically in this, as a follow-up, how do you address performance management?
Well, that could be one of two things. It could be a performance improvement plan if their performance is not up to standards. It's sitting down with the employee. I don't believe in surprises, number one. So if I come to them and we want to engage in a performance improvement process or plan, it should be no surprise to them. We've probably had many, many face-to-face conversations. If it is a bargaining unit member bringing in their steward to have a conversation about what we can do to improve their performance and support them in their journey. If in fact they're doing great. It's a matter of providing them with some kudos as well as some recognition and praise, and maybe sending a note off to the town administrator or the select board. It's two ways. I believe in both supporting positive as well as giving opportunity to support that individual in their journey if they're a little challenged.
Thank you. Within 2 years or so, at Ancient History, can you describe a time when a task or responsibility under your supervision ended with poor results, and what lessons did you learn from that experience?
So, in Rhode Island, we had this program called the Income Tax Offset Program. And in this program, which was statutorily recommended by distressed communities, we had the opportunity to enroll as well as intercept state income tax returns. It was nothing that I was really for, but I was tasked with executing this program. This program required us to notify anybody who had a delinquent balance that was over a year in age that their state income tax could be potentially offset. We had an issue with the data where letters went to taxpayers who had bills that were paid in full. So imagine my surprise. But from that process, we learned that the data that was coming out of our system was not 100% accurate. So from that, we put in measures to ensure that we were testing the data. We were testing it, but we weren't testing it. The spot testing was every 1,000. It should have been every 100 at that point. So we had learned a very critical lesson that we shouldn't be sending out letters until we vet every single touch point as far as at 100 intervals to make sure that those folks actually deserved a letter. The backlash was lots of phone calls, as you can imagine. One phone call to the mayor at night was, okay, it's not a big issue. After the third phone call, I got a phone call at home saying, we have a problem, can you get into the office? So we quickly corrected the data and sent out apology letters. But we also sent out letters, revised letters to those individuals who did actually owe the money. So, lesson learned.
That is not always accurate, right?
Well, not in this case.
That is question 6. I do appreciate you coming in, and we'll move on to the other candidate if we may.
All right, perfect. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to entertain my candidacy, and I look forward to working for the town.
Thank you very much for being.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Hello, Ms. Morrissey, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good
How
to
are
see you again.
as well.
Select Board members, we've met Jim Kilcoyne.
Hello, Lynn Fiddler. Hi.
Steve Erickson.
Hey.
Just quick on next steps. There's 6 questions. We'll go through the questions. The other board members have not had a chance to meet you. So maybe you'll be able to briefly tell us a bit about yourself so they can get acquainted with you, briefly highlight your experiences and how you prepared for this interview, and then subsequent to that, pending any outcome or background check, credit check, or and a successful contract negotiation are the next steps after that. So if you could, just briefly tell us a little bit about ourselves, your experiences.
I am a South Shore born and raised girl. I grew up in East Bridgewater, moved to Braintree. After about 15 years of banking, I moved to the municipal government, the school department in Braintree. I became the payroll and benefits person there. I did that for almost 5 years, moved over to the municipal to the town hall, became the assistant treasurer and tax collector, which was an adventure because there was no treasurer or tax collector. So for my first 10 months. So I knew all the payroll and benefits side. It was the tax collection that was a challenge for me, but got up to speed. I was there for almost another 5 years. I did take a brief hiatus, went back to banking. Probably, if you ask me one thing I regret doing, that would be one of the things I regret doing. I should never have done that. I thought I loved banking more, but I realized I loved municipal government more. I then became the assistant treasurer and tax collector in the town of Stoughton. I obtained my certification as treasurer and moved to East Bridgewater to be the treasurer there. An opportunity in the city of Watertown came up to expand my knowledge and experience in municipal government, and I moved on to the city of Watertown. So I have been in municipal government for about 15, 16 years. I love it. As I said before, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to municipal government. I just love my job. So that's me.
Thank you. Great. Vice Chair, would you kick it off?
Sure. Well, thank you for being here, and we have 6 questions, so I'm going to just start off with the first question, and we're going to get right into it. And I appreciate, again, for you being part of this process.
Thank you.
So the first question is, with all the available treasurer collector positions across the Commonwealth, why have you specifically chosen to apply to the town of Marshfield? And what does our community offer you in terms of motivation?
Why did I? Well, I do want to get back to the South Shore. It is where I'm comfortable, I'm familiar. Marshfield's a beautiful town, and the reason have been openings. Marshfield appealed to me for a few reasons. One was the financial soundness of Marshfield. Looking at the way it's run, the planning, very forward-thinking, the kiosk for payments, etc., the drive-through COVID testing, and that was right in the beginning of the pandemic. It's very impressive. I also, reading the job description, the opportunity to be involved with the full process of budgeting, finance, capital, everything. I do have that. I do actually have those tasks as well in Watertown, but again, it would be very nice to be close to home, or in an area where, most of my counterparts are.
Okay. And then what does our community offer you in terms of motivation?
I think growth. Looking at your job description with a potential to become a finance director. I do have, I'm not done. I'd like to grow in my career, and that was definitely a motivator. Again, I like it here. I love it here.
Okay, thank you so much.
So sure.
Thank you.
As well.
So a major aspect of your job would be addressing department heads' questions on their specific budgets. So could you describe your preferred communication method and then your budgeting experience as well?
I'm always available. Preferred method, call, email, stop into my office. I'm always available for questions, concerns, or research. It's a constant thing today. I get a call. I need this. Do I have that? Can you help me with this? As far as budget experience, I have been in Watertown. I participate in the full budget process. I am part of the team that, with the city manager and the city auditor, and I meet with all department heads and start the capital budget process. We build, and I do a chart of for the 5-year capital plan. Then from there, we meet with each department. We gather the full, once we've completed our capital plan project, we then move on to the annual budget, which entails a lot of meetings. Again, meeting with the departments, as well as the budget team, which would be, again, the assessor, myself, the city manager, the city auditor, as well as the community and planning development department head. And I put together the documents for the capital budget plan and a financing sheet, how that 5-year plan would look. And it's a city council, so it's a little different. It's not a town meeting vote. So we all go and we present. And I also am I'm in charge of the parking. So I do present those budgets to the city council.
Thank you.
3,
Halfway there almost.
describe your understanding of the following and the treasurer collector's role in each. I know A and B are fairly close. If you feel there's a need to separate those out. Annual town meeting, special town meeting.
Town meeting, I know, I was in East Bridgewater, we had town meeting. I did not present articles. I did ask for articles and draft the articles, a few articles, very small things for the treasurer collector's office. I attend the meeting. As far as preparing any documents, I didn't really do that for town meeting myself. We did have a review committee and we reviewed all the articles, etc. Special town meeting is very similar. We would go in and, we needed to do a transfer that we didn't expect or ask for annual transfers, what have you. Free cash, I have balanced the cash for each month. At the end of the year, I put it onto the DOR website. And also, when it comes to estimating the receipts or whatever for the certification process, our expected, sorry,
It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm looking at all the answers at once. So I've, put all the tax titles, all my revenue, half balance, do all those processes. Levy limit, I know that's, our 2.5 plus our new growth. And as far as the cherry sheet goes, that's kind of a moving target. We, adjust our budget as we go along until the final budget comes through and make adjustments as we go along.
Thank you.
So this is question number 4. Based on what you know about our existing financial policies and fiscal schedule, how would you ensure and foster proper communication with the town administrator in regards to financial reporting? And we'll start with that first part of that question.
I think in the treasurer and collector's office, I think it's important for the town administrator to be aware at all times if there's any deficit in or unexpected drops or in our collections, our revenues. Excuse me. Also keeping him aware of any, I'm sure the other departments, any unexpected expenses. As far as, I meet with the city manager every other week. We have a finance team and we meet every other week and do updates, and then we do a monthly department head meeting where you hear from the other department heads exactly what their needs are, what's happening. Reporting would really depend on what the focus is, but I think, again, where we stand on our collections, where we stand on our income, very important, because that's what keeps us going.
So the second part of that question was, please give us an example of the types of financial reports you would present the TA with, and when and what frequency would you present them?
It would be, well, dependent on him, but I would expect at the very minimum monthly a report of where we stand, once again, in our expenses and revenues, the earnings, and whatever else, what other information, how payroll, benefits.
Okay, thank you. That's
Sorry.
All right. So what do you know about the town of Marshfield's bond rating, and what would be your strategy to maintain and potentially increase our town's bond rating?
Well, the AA plus is impressive, and it's been that for a good time. You continually maintain your bond rating. As far as strategy to maintain the rating, it's really it's collective. It's management procedures, policies, financial policies. You have to look at, you do look at the other communities that have the high bond ratings, and what is it that Standard & Poor's or Moody's looking for? It's the looking forward. What are they looking? What is the town looking to? How is it looking to move forward? And really, obviously, pay debt service on time, but it's a collective effort to maintain your bond rating.
Thank you.
All right, number 6, I get last. How would you describe your management style? And I think you can keep this one as well. Specifically, how would you address performance management?
My management style is, I used to be a bank trainer way back when, and I have this need to explain things to people. So I think when I include my staff in many, many things. When I learn something, if it's something they may ever run into, I make sure that they learn why a decision's made or how to rectify a situation. I like to make sure simple things, silly things maybe you might think, but when we get an IGR from, I share things with them that, oh, this is going to change something we do in our office, or this is why excise tax is like it is, and how the rules. I don't know. I think it's anything. I think the staff needs to understand what they do, not just say the words. Oh, because why can't do that? Why can't you do that? Because we don't do that. No, it's because we're not allowed. Say I can't waive interest. Say because it's $15 or less. And the reason is it's a Mass General law, and we're bound by Mass General laws. There's a lot of things we do in the Treasurer Collector's Office, especially the Collector's Office, when dealing with residents or whatever. And it's not always, we don't always have the happy message, but there's a reason behind it. And I do like to, I think, the more your staff knows, the better you are. Because, say I break my leg, someone can maybe fill in for a minute and help with some of the duties and not leave it all on one person to make up pick up the bulk of work.
So how would you
Sharer.
specifically address a performance management?
How would I?
Yep.
I'm very direct.
Mhm.
I had an employee who just couldn't seem to get to work on time. It's new. Day one, he came in wearing sneakers, golf pants, and a pullover, and I said, "That's very nice, but that's not acceptable." I'm never rude, but I don't think you're not doing anyone any service by letting them do things that aren't acceptable. I know he doesn't get here on time. It'll work. No, it didn't work. It didn't work. So I think you just have to acknowledge, just let people know. You don't have to be mean. You can be frank and just give them the rules.
Thank you. Recently, in the last couple of years or so, would you describe a time when a task or responsibility under your supervision ended with poor results, and what lessons did you learn from that experience?
It seems like a simple task, but just the when I started in Watertown, we have a larger office than here. There are specific duties that different people take charge of, and there was an employee who was balancing we have an outside vendor who does our collections at City Hall systems. You may use them for our excise tax, but we don't have it on Munis just yet. So we have to balance the two systems together. And in the first few months, she was doing that, and then come to find out she wasn't doing that correctly, and the numbers weren't right. So basically, I had to go back and redo 4 or 5 months of receivables, and it wasn't a horrible thing, but I took for granted that, oh, she does that, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to check up on everyone's work, but you do have to just make sure things are the same. I did call in someone to assist and explain to her why it's wrong, but I learned sometimes you have to.
Well, that concludes the 6 questions. I think the next step for us here is that we'll have a discussion, and we'll make a selection this evening, and I want to thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for coming in and spending the time with us.
Thank you. Sorry about the hair. It's bad weather. It's not a curly hair.
It's been raining. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Do you want me to see who is here for particular action items? Do you want me to see who's here for action items to go potentially out of order? I'll we could do this first, but after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's open this up for discussion. Either of you have initial thoughts. As I said, I've already met the candidates, so I already had some impressions. Any thoughts or conversation starters for us?
So it was nice to get an opportunity to meet both of these candidates. Did the steering committee offer any, so we had both of these candidates, and how many candidates were here in front of your steering committee?
In total, there were 3.
3, okay.
Unfortunately, we have, is it like 7 or 8 competitive towns right now?
Yes, that's correct.
All looking for the same pool
Same
of
position,
people.
yeah.
Okay.
So I actually thought we were very lucky to have these 2 particular candidates come in front of us. And the third one, we decided not to move forward to present.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing. If it's okay with you, Chair, I'd like to just start off with the first applicant that we were able to speak to, and that was Sean Strobel.
Sure.
I felt his responses were clear. I had an easy time following his explanation to the questions. The first question was, with all the available treasurer collector positions across the Commonwealth, why you specifically chosen to apply to the town of Marshfield, which is our community, offer you in terms of motivation. So he mentioned the ocean and working waterfront and his experiences up in his previous position. So I thought that was a nice fit to what we have here in his response to that. Also, the Portland, Pawtucket, and analyzing, and the overrides he talked about as well. The explanations for Chapter 70 and investments and the response to that, and his resume supported those responses. So that was a nice link, as you said, nice link to what we had prior to coming in to this evening with his actual resumes. So it was nice to have him reintroduce those concepts that were on his resumes. So I was happy that that was part of the dialogue that he had with us. So let's see. The income tax offset that he used as an example to question number 6 was an interesting response, and talking about the way you evaluate when something doesn't go exactly the way you expect, 1,000 intervals versus 100. Obviously, if you're doing your checks and balances and dotting your I's and crossing your T's, you need to kind of figure it out when things aren't going the way you need to go. And so I was happy to hear that as an example. You mentioned cybersecurity, collection rates, environmental components, and employment as part of our bond rating, which is just going back to number 5. And I thought that those were very, very important concepts of what makes our bond rating work, and maybe Michael can maybe add into that particular component of what I'm going on about.
No, I think that was a good point. I mean, that's very important. The things that we do, the cybersecurity, the environmental stuff, the seawalls. It was great that he had touched upon that, because that is key. Being MVP, all of that stuff.
Right.
For a community like us, that would have dire effects if we're not being proactive and doing those kinds of things to protect the tax base, to protect our residents, our housing stock, and stuff like that. It would have, very, very bad effect on our financial position.
Right. So, we know what we need, what we're up against when we go to try to improve our bond rating, and being a seaside community is really part of that mix of what we need. And we know we need to work on those things, and it's kind of like an uphill battle.
Yeah,
right?
and those are the challenges in seawalls, and the town of Marshfield's been very aggressive. When you look at the new seawall on Foster Avenue, Grant Rock 1 and 2, and DPW's done some other fixes down in the Wrexham area, and now they're also doing some fixes up in the upper ocean, the high, what we refer to as the high road area.
Right. So I can go to the next candidate if you want my impression, or maybe we should just go. How do you want to?
Yeah, why don't you finish and go through
You
both?
want me to do that? Okay. So lastly, with Sean Strobel, he talked about lessons learned. And I think all of us know how important it is to move on, be concise with what you know and what you do not know, have a path, be collaborative, and knowledge is key. So that was part of, I felt that he would be a good candidate to keep us in the loop, to work with Michael and our departments and forge the future. So I'm going to end up with that with him. And as I said, his resume as well is very explicit to those types of things that I just previously talked about. And he also had in his education business administration and management, Harvard Management Mentor Program, the Public Sector Consortium, featured presenter for annual trade shows and conventions, which you can tell he's very well spoken in that regards. Okay. So moving on to Melissa Morrissey. She was very well spoken. Although I had a hard time following her, I felt I really needed to key in on what she was saying to get all the information. She was a little bit more difficult to follow in the responses to her questions. She did talk about the financial kiosk that, as you know, was key to getting through COVID with the town. She also talked about budgeting experience and the importance of a 5-year capital plan, and about the importance of staying on the moving target type of thing when we're all working to get a financial, I guess, tone or financial overview. We need to be able to rely on our treasurer to be able to get that information to Michael in an expedient and professional manner. And she did talk about that, but I'm not sure that I got the impression that was going to be as easy a fit to her as maybe to the other candidate. What do you know about the town of Marshfield bond rating? And she talked about a collective effort with other towns and trying to understand other towns and how they could perhaps lead us in some sort of a direction based on what other towns are doing. And I understand that perspective, but I wanted to hear what specifically, by understanding what the town has going for us and what our strategies could be to improve that. So talked about bank needs and explaining and sharing and learning and what's important when and if there was a situation that she was unable to perform her duties, and how it's important to have other folks there to step in, and she needs to work with her employees to do that. So that was my gist on both of them. I don't know. I know I didn't spend as much time talking about the second candidate because I felt the first candidate was stronger, but I'd like to hear your input as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was good that we had 2 candidates with a lot of experience, and it's always a sigh of relief when you have your 2 finalists that would be a good fit. I thought that overall Mr. Strobel's command of the information was strong, and that came through in his answers to our questions, and he was very concise and to the point. And I think the breadth of his experience is great, working with both small budgets and big budgets, and a lot of cross-training as well. And for those reasons, I would support Mr. Strobel to be our next treasurer collector.
I had the privilege to be able to speak to them previously, and we had more questions and a lot more time with them. I think what we saw this evening was very similar in a more condensed version. If you'd spent maybe the hour with each candidate, it's very similar came across. I think we're very fortunate to have these 2 candidates. They're both strong candidates. But we're going to have to pick one this evening, and I would say, based upon my feelings and what I've heard from both of you this evening, that I think that Mr. Strobel has a very strong resume. He's clearly articulate. I think his personality will be a good fit with the personalities in this town, and I think his management style will be a good fit. He's obviously got breadth of experience, coming from a large city, and then also having the Portland experience with all that maritime experience, which really does separate us from other towns. And he has that experience as well. So that would be my feeling as well, that I would like to support Mrs. Strobel for the position. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think that's a wise decision. Can I just speak to you for a second?
Sure.
So,
If it's okay with the chair.
If that's all right with the chair? It was really in regards to the comment about the breadth of budget at 880 million, and we are, as you know, 109, 110. Yeah. So this is a smaller town in relationship to what he made. So when we have a candidate like this, I think this is awesome that he has the ability, because our goals are obviously to grow, and our future is really important. So can you just share, because I'm not sure, is the 880 million, the policies and procedures that go with a town that's 880 million, and a town as we have, what is there a huge difference in policy and procedure? And
Yeah, there really isn't. I mean,
Yeah.
so whether you're a major town like the city of Worcester, which is a city now, or the town of Marshfield, it's the same challenges. So when you put budgets together, you have to work within the confines of the revenue that's coming in, Prop 2.5, you add your new growth in, that's how you are able to expand and have a budget. For expenses, you monitor your expenses just like you do in a small town or in a large town. It's really the same. It's just the number that's bigger, but you have, the same pitfalls that you have to watch. You have to make sure that there's accountability, that the budgets are realistic, that you're able to continue to generate those revenues, whether it's $109 million worth of revenues, or in like the city of Worcester, if it's $880 million worth of revenues. And then once you have those revenues, it's really all about, managing them, and then having, the offsets and things like that you have to work through.
thank you. So we're good, I think.
Yep. Then without any further discussion, I'd like to make a motion that the board moves to appoint Sean Strobel, treasurer collector, pending the outcome of a background check, credit check, and successful contract negotiation. Look for a second.
I will second that.
Motion been made and duly seconded. A roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to select Sean Strobel pending him going through the background check, the credit check, and successful negotiation of contract.
So now we get to move on to the action items, of which we have almost 20.
Yeah.
But you have drawn to my attention that we might want to take some out of order.
Yes, that's okay,
Do you
Mr. Chair.
have a suggestion?
Yeah, Mrs.
That you
Appleby.
can help me out with
Which
here?
action item are you here for?
I'm here for the Peter Igo part discussion.
Okay.
Okay. Want to do Ned? Ned will be quick. He's just here for a donation to Trails. It's number 9.
It's all of us.
Where's, hey, Nick.
All of
You're
us.
not-
there we go. That's the one.
Great.
All right.
You're all here from Peter Igo?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I do want to let everyone understand that the Peter Igo is part of another consideration we have, and there is no public comment. Okay, I just want to make sure you all understand that. It's not an open meeting. So, Ned, what number are you?
9.
9. Sir, would you like to come up, sir?
Sure.
Let me look at number 9 here. Number 9, discussion and vote on request for permission to accept donation of $2,000 to the Recreational Trails Committee. You've been getting a lot of donations lately.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, but it all comes down to the people that we work with, and we have 2 members number with me right now, New England Mountain Bike Association, Jeff Wilson and Mark Scala. They both spent a lot of time out on the trails with us as well. Jeff was the race director for the June Carolina Hill mountain bike race, and Mark has been there helping out on the computer part of it, getting the numbers and the scores together. So, after all the expenses and costs that we had, Jeff was kind enough to let me know that we had $2,000 coming our way.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. So, discussion, board?
Oh, that's excellent.
Great job.
Okay, I would like to make a motion the board moves to accept on behalf of the Recreational Trails Committee a donation in the amount of $2,000 from the New England Mountain Bike Association. Thank you very much, Mountain Bike Association. The donation will assist the RTC in their efforts to maintain and improve the vast trail network in our town, specifically for the Furnace Brook Watershed Trail System. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept the $2,000 donation on behalf of the Trails Committee from the New England Mountain Bike Association.
And thank you very much. And just to let you know, we're working with Jeff and Mark. So New England Mountain Bike Association is not just bikes, but it's also feet, walking, running. And Jeff brought up the idea of collaborating with the Trails Committee to offer some walks later this fall or winter. So just another partnership that we're very pleased to be working with.
Thank you, Ned. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ned.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Banks? Is there anybody else here that's for anything else this evening? Yes.
17.
Number 17. Number 17
Buddy Walk.
is a discussion vote on request to hold Buddy Walk on October 8th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay. $18. Any comments from my colleagues on the Buddy Walk?
And Mr. Chairman, so not time sensitive, but.
Just a second, please. I think this is great. No comments other than this is a supportive walk and,
know.
and Marshfield Police, I think this is great. No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm supportive of it as well. And anything, Mr. Darcy?
No, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay, number 18. Then, number 18, we'll move on to, I make a motion that the board moves to approve the ex-treasure hunt LLC for Angelus Constantine of Marshfield for September 23rd, 2023. Nope, am I reading the wrong one?
The Buddy Walk?
18 is.
Yeah,
We're on
Buddy
17
Walk.
still.
Oh, 17, my mistake, sorry. I went to 18. So I'd like to make a motion, the board moves to approve the Buddy Walk for the Danielle Converse of Marshfield of Harbor Park, Brant Rock, on October 8th, 2023. Does that sound more familiar? Yep. Yeah, because it's the right one, not the wrong one. At 10 a.m. The route will run from the Harbor Park along the sidewalk down Dyke Road, taking a left on Caswell?
Yes.
All right. Up Marginal?
Yep.
And then a left on Beach Street before turning around in the Green Harbor Lobster Pound?
Yes.
And then walking back on the same route?
Correct.
All right. Continue until 1 p.m. Pending sign-off from the Marshall Police Department, Marshall Fire Department. I'd like to hear a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the Buddy Walk for October 8, 2023 at 10 a.m.
Sorry for the confusion. I'm sure it's going to be a great walk. You're very welcome. I do just want to let the citizens here know that the select board, within the discussion for Peter Igo Park, that's a citizen petition, and the select board never makes comments on citizen petitions, so there won't be any comment from us on that as well, so I just did want to make you aware of that one. Did you say we have
18 is on Zoom.
18's on Zoom? I need better glasses. Where is it, Stephen?
Constantine.
Good evening. This is Constantine. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So are you here for 18?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, let me find 18 for us. I already moved ahead to 18. I was in advance. I sort of felt you were out there. 18 is discussion vote on request to hold a treasure hunts for children on September 23rd, 2023, and September 30th, 2023, starting at 8 a.m. I'll open any discussion up to the board regarding the ex-treasure hunt.
I'm all set with it, Chair.
I just thought that the Zoom profile picture is very on point.
I knew you were going to say that. Damn, I wish I said it first.
Yeah.
The skull and bones.
Well, thanks for coming in and attending anyway. Without any further discussion, I would like to make a motion once again that the board moves to approve the ex-treasure hunt LLC for Angelus Constantine of Marshfield for September 23, 2023, and September 30, 2023, beginning at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m. for groups of 10 children accompanied by their parents to proceed on the treasure hunt, that's the logo here, pending sign-offs from the Marshall Police Department, Marshall Fire Department, and I'm looking for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the ex-treasure hunt LLC for September 23rd and September 30th at 8, 10, 1, and 3.
Okay, just make sure I'm crossing off the right ones
Thank you,
here.
Mr. Chairman and board members. I appreciate it and looking forward to be coming in front of you guys again, so hopefully to more treasure hunts.
Yeah, it sounds like a really fun thing. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
We've been doing it for years with our family, and it's too many people on the beach have been asking us, oh, when can we drop off our kids? So we decided to form a company.
Well, great. I hope it works out well for you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you for coming in. We're going to, believe it or not, after 2 hours, we're going to get to item number 1. And item 1 is a discussion vote on appointment of Detective Lieutenant Brian O'Riordan, I think it is. O'Riordan? As a special police officer. And this is item 1.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes, you may.
Our police chief is at another event, and he just asked me to speak a little about this. So, as folks know, we have a lot of special events that we need officers for. We have a lot of construction projects and stuff like that. So, under the police reform, this is one of the ways cities and towns can appoint police officers, but there are some caveats that the chief just wanted me to point out, and that is the qualifications are the same as any full-time police officer. They must possess at least a high school equivalency diploma, meet all the state education requirements at the time of being sworn in as a special police officer, must have a minimum of full-time MPTC Police Academy training, certificate prior to effecting powers of arrest or carrying a firearm all duty. All special police officers retired from full-time must complete annual in-service requirements, first aid and CPR, and qualify for firearms as required under the state law. They will also be governed by all the Marshfield Police Department policies and procedures and rules and regulations. All appointments of special police officers will be conducted by the appointing authority of the Select Board, and an officer can serve in that capacity up to the age of 65.
Yeah. I also spoke to the chief this afternoon, and he's basically going to be used for details and things like that. Just for the public to know that he is a retired Massachusetts full-time state police officer. He retired in 2018, so this would be a fantastic, in my view, catch for the town. Any further discussion?
No, I'm thrilled that he's willing to step in and help us out here, and he is certainly an officer in good standing, and his entire career is
Good.
noteworthy. Yes,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep. So without further discussion, I'd like to make a motion the board moves to appoint Detective Lieutenant O'Riordan, a special Marshfield police officer, until the age of 65. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to appoint Detective Lieutenant Brian O'Riordan, Special Police Officer, till the age of 65.
Now, as we discussed, we're passing over items 2. We're passing over items 3, so we moved right from 1 to 4. Item number 4 is a vote to sign an easement previously approved in April 2023 special town meeting. It's an easement for electrical service. It's already been approved at town meeting. The approval of the board, maybe I'll just ask Mr. Maresco if he has a few comments that he wants to say on this.
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. You're 100% correct. Town meeting approved this easement,
Yep.
and this is the final step in the
Yep.
easement. We have the easements in front of us, and where the board's announcing that they will be signing the easements following up with the town meeting vote.
Yeah, this is an N-Star Eversource 1456 Ocean Street easement.
Amesway School,
Amesway.
Daniel Webster, and
Yep.
Governor Winslow.
Yep, it's transformer. So I would like to, without further discussion, then I would like to make a motion the board moves to sign the following easements previously approved on April 23rd, April 2023, special town meeting for the Amesway School, Daniel Webster School, and Governor Winslow School. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to sign the easements for the Amesway School, Daniel Webster School, and Governor Winslow School as approved by town meeting in April of '23.
All right, our next discussion here is to vote to sign a contract for the Green Harbor mooring project. Do we have anyone here
I can,
Alderman Estimeo, or?
Mr. Chairman, I can jump in if you'd like.
Sure.
So, as folks know, we're getting the harbor dredge.
Yep.
One of the things we have to do, we gotta remove the mooring, block.
All the mooring
chains and
balls, all the
that. So
tackle.
We went out to bid, and, Atlantic Coast Tug and Marine LLC of Nottingham, New Hampshire was awarded, they were the low bidder, $115,237.55. And tonight, they're before the board for the board to award the contract to them pending them getting the necessary paperwork in.
Well, it's a long time coming, and I know it's going to be a huge project to get all those mooring balls out for the dredging and all the boaters that are there, the commercial fishermen, so. Unless we have further discussion, I would, on item, sorry, number 5, I would like to make a motion, the board moves to approve the Green Harbor mooring contract to Atlantic Coast Tug and Marine LLC, Nottingham, New Hampshire, who submitted the low bid of $115,237.55, pending receiving bonds, insurance, and contract signatures. Atlantic Coast Tug and Marine LLC has the experience and capability to complete this project for the town of Marshfield. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to award Green Harbor mooring contract to Atlantic Coast Tug and Marine LLC of Nottingham, New Hampshire.
I noticed that, we might have some people, and I didn't address this particularly, I did address the people in the room. Is there anyone on Zoom that is here for any action item? I'm more than willing to take it out of order for you.
Good evening. Sandra Baldner-Moss here from South Shore Tech, just looking for support of our peddler's license to support the Tri-Town Rotary and our commitment to support them with a food trailer at the flea market on Sunday.
Is it 13? Is this 13? Sure, we can take 13. Go to the pack, 13th, Social Technical High School. Yep, read through this. Anything from my peers?
No, sir.
No, Chair.
Okay. Then without further discussion, I'd like to make a motion the board moves to approve the peddler's license for Rachel Schuster of South Shore Technical High School of Hanover to operate a food truck from 7:45 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. daily in Marshfield with permission of the event organizer, pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department, Marshfield Board of Health, and the Marshfield Fire Department. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the peddler's license for Rachel Schuster of South Shore Technical High School of Hanover.
Schuster, welcome, and I hope it's very successful for you.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to serving some hot sandwiches and coffee on Sunday morning.
Sounds
Weather
good.
permitting.
Sounds, yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Delarusso's here also for, he's item number 12.
Mr. Delarusso. Okay.
I'd like to comment on one too, also, when you get a chance.
All right. We'll go to Patrick Delarusso. Mr. Delarusso.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for having me in tonight. Thank you guys very much. Mr. Brusco, it's great to see you guys. And I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you. This is a discussion and vote for appointment to the Capital Budget Committee, Patrick Delarusso. Everyone, I think, here at this table is familiar with Patrick, his capabilities. I personally think we're very fortunate that he is willing to be able to give back to the town. I know he's got family. I know he's got a strong career and a good job. So I'd like to say thank you for volunteering. We sorely need good volunteers in this town, and thank you for stepping up, and that's my view on this one. Any other comments?
Yes, good evening, Patrick, nice to see you. I wasn't on the board when you were here, and I understand that you're doing well, and I really appreciate you volunteering your time to work with us on this important committee, so thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I just want to give credit to Mr. Moresco. As you guys know, Michael and I, working with the former select boards, really were the instrumental part of getting so many capital projects approved, including the debt exclusion, which actually reduced taxes for the town. So I just want to say thank you again for the opportunity, and Michael, thank you for putting this forward with the chairman.
Yeah, he's certainly more than qualified. We benefited tremendously
Yes.
from Patrick's financial acumen while he was here, and I know Taunton is more than happy to have Patrick's services as well. So I can't think of a better fit for capital budget, and if Patrick is willing, I know that they need a new chair as well, so I think he'd be a great fit.
Certainly has the skill sets. So without further discussion, then I'd like to make a motion. The board moves to appoint Patrick Delarusso to the Capital Budget Committee. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to appoint Patrick Delarusso to the Capital Budget Committee.
Mr. Delarusso, thank you for your volunteering. Welcome aboard.
Thank you guys very much. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have, is it Ms. Merritt?
It's Ann Gillespie.
Ann Gillespie. Sorry, the names were all wrong on the screen. Hello, Ms.
That's all
Gillespie. Do you know which one in particular
Yes,
you're?
I just want kind of a point of clarification.
Sure.
Because I'm confused. What about the Igo Park? Is that done?
No, so I try to address that. So Peter Igo Park is part of our special warrant that we're voting and discussing on this evening, right? It's a citizen petition. It's not a public hearing, so there won't be any public comments on it. And it's a citizen petition within that. And the select board never makes comments on citizen petitions. So we're just going to vote. That's it.
Okay, so you haven't done it yet, is what I'm getting.
No, we haven't gotten there yet. We've been jumping around out of
Okay.
order to try to help people out that are waiting, so they don't have to go. Although I think they really would enjoy hearing all 23 of our items tonight. Some people want to go home.
Yeah. Whatever, thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome. All right. You see, I got X's all over the place. Which ones have we taken? We've done that. We've done that. Oh, we could go to 6, couldn't we?
Yes, we could.
Let's do that.
So, guess what number 6 is? The one you were waiting for.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'll do like we normally do. I'll read them, and then we'll take the vote and go through them that way. I'll give
Yeah, you want to read them, Mike?
explanation. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So this is discussion and vote for the special town meeting warrants. We're going to have the town administrator read them for us, so they're read into the record.
Article 1, will the town vote to approve an expenditure of $1,569.35 from the corresponding FY24 budget, a transfer from available funds, sum of money for payment of unpaid bills, and there's a treasurer collector, City Hall Systems, Inc., for $386.25, DPW, City Hall Systems, Inc., $203.50, DPW, LGBS Mass Dot for $53.35, Legal, Pesci Engineering and Associates, Inc., $926.25, DPW SFM Generator, $170 for a total of unpaid bills of $1,739.35. So this is the only way that bills that rear their heads after the close of a fiscal year can be paid, and town meeting has to approve this by a 9/10 vote.
Okay.
You have to entertain a motion to vote on it.
We're doing a motion after each article? Oh, okay. I thought we were going to do them all. We're going to do a motion after each article. Okay. So I'd like to make a motion that we include Article 2.
Article 1.
Oh, sorry, Article 1 on the special town meeting on October 16, 2023, and look for a second.
I'll second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Article 1.
Article 1's
unanimous
in.
to be included. Article 2, will the town vote to ratify the collective bargaining agreements or other employee contracts with any one or more of the following organizations with respect to fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026, or take any other action relative thereto. State Council 93-1700, which is the Department of Public Works Employees Union, Marshfield Firefighters, Local 2568, International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO, and the Association of Marshfield Police. And this article is on here. We haven't settled with any of the unions yet, but we put this on there in the event that between now and special town meeting, we are able to settle with one or more. Then we'll be ready to go, but there's no money attached to this because we fund the increases in the collective bargaining agreements in the actual budget.
Any discussion?
No, sir.
All right, without further discussion, then I would like to make a motion that the select board accepts Article 2 to be placed in the special town meeting on Monday, October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made, duly seconded, roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to include Article 2 into the warrant. Article 3, will the town vote to replace the FY23 Schedule A compensation plan with the following FY24 personnel bylaw Schedule A compensation plan, or take any other action relative thereto? This is a wage and classification, so we have employees that are in collective bargaining union contracts, and then we have bylaw, and this takes care of a 2% increase like the unions got for our bylaw employees, and it's something we do every fall.
Open up for discussion.
No, sir.
Hearing none, I would like to make a motion that we accept Article 3 for the special town meeting, Monday, October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion made and duly seconded, roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to include Article 3. Article 4, will the town vote to adopt Schedule A and Schedule B of the General Government Personnel Bylaw as set forth in the below charts, or take any other action relative thereto? So if people at home that can't see it, what we're doing is on Schedule A, full-time, the Assistant Animal Control Officer is being upgraded from a grade 6 to a grade 8. And then in Schedule Part B, Assistant Harbor Master's salary per hour has been increased. It has a range now from $16 to $24, depending upon experience.
Discussion from my peers?
No, sir.
All right, then I'd like to make a motion that we accept Article 4 for the special town meeting, Monday, October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion made, duly seconded, roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept Article 4. Article 5, will the town vote to transfer $194,136.60, which is bond premiums from the sale of bonds and bands in July of 2023, to be used for town infrastructure repairs and take any other action relative thereto. And this money goes into the infrastructure account, and our facility director uses it, and it's split between the schools and general government.
Discussion?
No, sir.
Then I'd like to make a motion that we accept Article 5 for the special town meeting in October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept and include Article 5. Article 6, will the town vote to authorize the select board to grant and convey access and utility easements for wires, transmission lines, telecommunication lines, utility lines, conduits, and certain solar easements intended to provide unobstructed exposure to sunlight, as well as the right with the advance written approval of the town to trim and maintain trees and other vegetation to certain leases for the portion of the South River School and property in the form acceptable to the Select Board and Town Council, to enable the installation and connection of rooftop and other solar facilities to be installed at or on said building and property, or take any other action relative thereto. Last year, town meeting approved Governor Winslow School, Amesway School, Daniel Webster School, and Marshfield High School, and now we're adding South River School to this project.
Discussion, comments?
No, sir.
Without further discussion, comments, I'd like to make a motion that we accept Article 6 to be inserted into the special town meeting on Monday, October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept and include Article 6. Article 7, will the town vote to authorize the select board to grant and convey access and utility easements for wires, transmission lines, telecommunication lines, utility lines, and conduits, and certain solar easements intended to provide unobstructed exposure to sunlight, as well as the right with the advance written approval of the town to trim and maintain trees and vegetation to certain leases of the portions of town buildings and properties, including the dog park and property at 35 Proprietors Drive, the DPW facility and property at 965 Plain Street, in a form acceptable to the Select Board and Town Council, to enable the installation and connection of rooftop and other solar facilities to be installed at or on said buildings, carports, and properties, or take any other action relative thereto. So this allows the installation of photovoltaics at both the dog park, which will be truly unique, and then at the new DPW facility.
Any discussions?
No, sir.
Okay, without further discussion, then I'd like to make a motion that we accept Article 7 to be inserted in the special town meeting for Monday, October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept and insert Article 7. Article 8, the town vote to transfer the sum of $2,613,145 from certified free cash and $200,000 from certified water retained earnings, and disperse such funds for the following items detailed in the chart below. Take any other action relative thereto. Item 1, Department 122, Treasurer Collector Town Accountant Search, $20,000. Treasurer Collector Professional Services, $50,000. Police details for a fiber optic installation project, $50,000. Police Department certification, $250,000. Ambulance supplies, $180,000. Rate adjustment for the Assistant Animal Control Officer, which the board had, we just reviewed that one, $7,500. DPW vehicle fuel, gasoline, $50,000. DPW vehicle maintenance, $50,000. Council on Agent friendly programmer for $15,000. School bus tickets for library services for our students, $1,000. Library for spring Sunday hours at the library, $11,500. Supplemental FY24 pension, $495,000. OPEB funding, $100,000. Stabilization funding, $100,000. An AP5 upgrade cloud for the assessors, $26,145. Town hall doors with IT functions, $75,000. Fire headquarters locker and bathroom designs for both men and women, $75,000. Town government general maintenance for facilities to use, $250,000. School general maintenance for facilities to use, $250,000. Commercial fishing boom pier for the harbor master, $53,000 to go out on the, it's a boom that raises up things from the boats. Need a new one. Complete streets, Brant Rock, Esplanade Traffic and Improvement Project Phase 1, which is the select board's contribution, town contribution, $250,000. Road maintenance for DPW, $100,000 to go with their Chapter 90 funds. Unpaid road maintenance for DPW, $70,000. Ocean Street crosswalk flashing lights, $30,000. Playground maintenance, $18,000. And then 24 Chevy K2500 utility with plow, vehicle number 124, $100,000, and that would be from Enterprise Capital. And then a Chevy K2500 utility with plow, vehicle number 185, $100,000 from the Enterprise Capital Fund.
Thank you. This is the major capital part of the warrant, obviously. It's Article 8. It's a total request for approval for $2,613,145. Also for $200,000 out of the enterprise fund for a total of $2,813,145 from free cash. I just want to. It's a very small amount, but we've already discussed this, Mike. But for the people here, could you just briefly describe item number 10, which is the student bus for library services?
Thank you for pointing this. This is wonderful. The library director came to me, Cindy Marcoux, said that we have a lot of our students show up at the library, and the problem is they don't have, more of them would like to come. The parents work, they don't have a way to get there. They can get on the GATRA. I think it's like $2 each way. And she reached out to GATRA, talked to me, and if this is approved, she will be able to buy tickets to give to those students to come and do research or come to read books or use any of the technology that's available. this will help fund their way back home or to the library or both.
So I think that's a great effort that she made and a great idea.
It was wonderful, yeah.
Students that want to go to the library, want to learn, and but aren't able to get there to and from home. So that's a great one. Also, item 22, we discussed that quite a bit this evening. That's the Bull Nose Project, Brant Rock Esplanade Traffic Improvement Phase 1. That's our match. It's $250,000, just to go over that as well. And then I'd just like to point out also to the citizens, because I hear about this a lot, regarding road maintenance, lots of times specifically for unpaved road maintenance. And so the select board is inserting out of free cash an additional $170,000 for road maintenance to the DPW and also for unpaved road maintenance. And those are my comments. Any others from my peers?
No, sir.
Okay. Then, hearing no further comments, I would like to make a motion that we insert Article 8 into the special town meeting for Monday, October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy, unanimous vote to accept and insert Article 8 into the warrant. Article 9, will the town vote to authorize the select board to acquire by gift, purchase, and/or eminent domain in connection with the work to improve Veterans Park and the dam removal project, temporary and permanent easement with no damages over a portion or portions of the parcel of land located at 25 Main Street, Marshfield, Massachusetts, shown on the Marshfield Assessors Map as parcel G08-03-03. Small b, raise and appropriate and transfer from available funds and/or borrow a sum of money for the acquisition of said land and cost related to. C, authorize the select board, the town administrator, and/or such other boards or officers as they deem appropriate to apply for and accept on behalf of the town fund, gifts, and grants, including grants for reimbursement on any federal, state, or private programs, and to enter into any and all agreements and execute any and all instruments to effectuate the foregoing acquisition to defray a portion of the amount of amount appropriated under this article, which may be defrayed by reimbursement following acquisition or take any other action relative thereto. And then, Mr. Chairman, if I may, so this article, Situate Chair Company is not looking for any financial contribution. They've been a partner in this project. As you know, they have an abutting business, and we're doing the dam removal. And in order to do that project, we need a permanent and temporary easements for construction materials and access, and they've waived any monetary cost to be able to be a good steward.
I know we were addressing this when I was on the Conservation Commission, and I've been here for two and a half years now. It's a long-going project, so this is great to be able to put it on. Any discussion on Article 9?
No, sir.
Hearing none, then I would like to make a motion that we insert Article 9 into the special town meeting on Monday, October 16th, 2023. We'll look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve Article 9 for insertion. Article 10, will the town vote upon the recommendation of the Community Preservation Committee and the Open Space Committee pursuant to Mass General Laws 44B to appropriate the sum of $210,000 from FY24 Community Preservation Fund reserves for open space and/or undesignated fund reserves for the purchase of 2160 Ocean Street, parcel number G08-0502, lot size .489 acres with approximately 100 feet of frontage on the South River and Ocean Street, or take any other action relative thereto. The South River Park conservation restriction will be amended to include this property if purchased. The town has funded the Phase 1 and Phase 2 environmental studies for the land. The $210,000 includes funding in the amount of $10,000 to cover the actual closing costs, preservation restriction, and any other related costs from Chapter 44B of the Community Preservation Act.
Discussion? Comments? Hearing none, then I'd like to make a motion that the select board accept Article number 10 to be inserted in the special town meeting on Monday, October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve and insert Article 10. Article 11, will the town vote to appropriate the sum of $999,997.15 for the purpose of funding the Grant Rock Esplanade Traffic and Safety Improvement Project, Phase 1, the project, to determine whether this sum shall be raised by small I, borrowing the sum of $499,997.15 pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, or any other enabling authority, with the debt service defrayed by the town's general fund, which amount shall be reduced by any grant received for the project prior to any such borrowing, and to authorize the Select Board to accept a reimbursable grant for the sum of $499,997.15 from the Mass DOT Complete Streets Grant Program for the project. Double small I, transferring $250,000 from the town's free cash, and in parentheses, triple small I, transferring $250,000 of previously approved Chapter 90 funding, annual town meeting 4/24 of 23, Article 6, or otherwise take any other action relative thereto.
Any comments on number 11?
No, sir.
Not hearing any, then I would like to make a motion that the board insert Article number 11 into the special town meeting on Monday, October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept and insert Article 11. Article 12, will the town vote to amend the Marshfield zoning bylaw as follows? Amend Article 305-15, floodplain zoning, Section 15-02, applicability by adding the following language as shown in bold. And when I read this, I will say what's in bold so those at home will understand. Section 305-15.02, applicability. Floodplain district for Marshfield, Massachusetts, herein established as a separate overlay district. The district includes all special flood hazard areas within the town of Marshfield designated as a Zone A, AE, AH, AO, A99, V, or VE on the Plymouth County Flood Insurance Rate Map, in parentheses, firm, dated July 6, 2021. And now the next words, these are all in bold, and include the April 10th, 2023 LOMA and August 9th, 2023 LOMA updates. Those words are all in bold, issued by the Federal Emergency Management, FEMA, for the administration of National Flood Insurance Program. The exact boundaries of the district shall be defined by the 1% chance base flood elevation shown on the firm, and further defined by the Plymouth County Flood Insurance, in parentheses, capital F, capital I, capital S, report dated July 6, 2021. And the following words, and includes the April 10, 2023 LOMA and August 9, 2023 LOMA updates. Those were all bolded. The firm and the FIS reports are incorporated herein by reference and are on file with the town clerk, building commissioner / floodplain administrator, planning board, conservation commission, and the community rating system, in parentheses, capital C, capital R, capital S, official.
Comments? No, sir. From the board. If not, I would like to...
A lot of abbreviation.
I would like, yes, you did very well on that one. I would like to insert Article 12 into the special town meeting on Monday, October 16th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept and insert Article 12. Article 13 is a private petition article. Does the board want me to read this?
We have several.
I'll read it since we have some.
Yeah, we have
Up to
people
the
here,
chair.
so...
Yep. Okay. Article 13 is private petition article, authorized Town of Marshfield to lease Peter Igo Park to the Friends of Peter Igo Park, Inc., whereas Friends of Peter Igo Park, Inc., in parentheses, FOPIP, all in caps, is a registered 501c3 committed to the maintenance and betterment of Peter Igo Park, in parentheses, the park, 35 Marshall Ave, as the park's steward for the benefit of the town of Marshfield, in parentheses, the town, resident and visitors, whereas the town owns the park, and whereas FOPIP has, working in concert with the town's Department of Public Works, DPW, successfully fulfilled its role as a steward of the park, and since the park's renovations in 2014, and whereas FOPIP, as steward of the park, has received awards from national and local organizations applauding the park as a whole, and whereas FOPIP is financially self-sustaining entity, thus reducing the financial burden of the town, and whereas the FOPIP's efforts are funded through its organization and operation of leagues such as bocce and volleyball, organized fundraising tournaments and donations from individuals and local businesses, and whereas FOPIP's efforts are generally supported by services in-kind donations from local businesses and contractors, and whereas FOPIP works with the town's recreation department to coordinate FOPIP's leagues and tournaments to avoid any time conflicts with the town-sponsored recreational programs and park, and whereas FOPIP seeks to streamline its stewardship of the park through the execution of a binding public-private partnership agreement with the town to lease the park for $1 per year, be it agreed that the town is authorized to lease the park to FOPIP for a rolling period of 10 years for $1 per year. Be it further agreed the town's lease of the park reauthorized by the DPW on an annual basis to ensure FOPIP is fulfilling its responsibilities as steward of the park. Petitioner Bud Dukester.
Any discussion on Article 13 by either of my colleagues? No, hearing none, then I'd like to make a motion that we accept Article 13.
Mr. Chairman, we don't have to accept it because it's...
Oh, we don't have to do that?
It's a private petition article.
So we don't
they
have to
went
accept
out,
it?
but
It
no,
just automatically goes
it's
in?
automatically.
Right, I knew that. Then Article 13 has been read in.
Yes. And that concludes, as people can see, it's...
That concludes our acceptance of the special town meeting warrant articles. Thank you for coming in. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the evening, I welcome you back anytime. It's always nice to have people. Sometimes very lonely here. It's nice to have people with us.
It would
And I'm
have
sure.
been more useful if you used the mics, like, a number of you.
Well,
we couldn't-
you're not the first to say that. So these are basically for the recording.
Uh-huh.
But we might benefit, and I've heard this before, we might benefit having like speakers so
Yeah.
you can hear us better.
It was hard to hear.
Was it?
Yeah.
Especially these people speaking. A lot of them didn't bring the mics
'Cause-
themselves.
Yeah, because the mics just go to the viewer. And I have this behind me, so I can't hear as well. So I really appreciate you telling us that. And maybe that's something we could work on.
The problem is if you use a microphone that projects, you get feedback.
Oh, we're gonna
from the
get
recording.
Well, you were the most,
Projecting. Oh, thank you.
yeah.
He was the loudest?
Yes, you can't have amplification because
Public
of
education.
the technology. Yeah.
You're the loudest, Steve?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, you did.
The children may
Through the
object to
chair.
that.
Yes, I'm sorry, what's the question?
Ask a question. Was this petition article ever discussed at a meeting?
It's a citizen's petition
Yes,
article,
yeah.
so if you collect enough signatures, it goes on no matter what. There's
People
no
could put
control.
anything on, right.
Yeah.
If you hit the hurdle of getting the right amount of petitions, signatures, then you're on. It's just how the system, works.
But there will be discussion at the town meeting.
Yes.
Well, there'll be an opportunity for discussion. It'll be up to people whether they want to speak.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, let's see what I have next off.
Mr. Kurtz, can I get an interview for MCM News?
We still,
my-
yeah, we still got more to go, unfortunately.
Your head's in the right place. I wish you were done.
How about 7? 7, discussion vote on the one-day entertainment license for Friends of Marshfield Dog Park.
Strongly opposed, Mr. Chairman.
This is a dog park. I think it's a Halloween
Yes.
agenda.
4th annual.
Any discussions or comments?
Woof. Sorry. I'm trying to keep up with Steve's humor. I'm so bad.
That was
The
pretty,
bar
that
is
was
just
pretty,
set so
that was
high.
pretty,
It's kind of getting punchy.
that was pretty rough.
It was pretty rough. No, sir. We'll leave it up to
I'm
Steve.
gonna play it
Go ahead.
safe and
Let it go, then I would like, without further comment from my
definitely-
colleagues, this is number 7, right? I'm getting tired too. I'd like to make a motion the board makes to approve an outdoor temporary one-day entertainment license for Aaron Fitzpatrick, DBA Friends of Marshfield Dog Park at the Marshfield Dog Park, located at 35 Proprietors Drive on Saturday, October 28, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. with a rain date of October 29th, 2023 for the fourth, all right, it is the fourth, Doggy Halloween Costume Contest with the following types of entertainment: live music, an amplification system with a tent and food to be served. Will this be for the canines as well?
yeah, honestly,
It'll
yeah,
be
we
dog
got
biscuits.
dog ice cream
Pending
trucks, yeah.
sign off of the Marshfield Police Department, Marshfield Fire Department, Building Department, and Board of Health. I'd look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the 4th annual Doggy Halloween Costume Contest event at the dog park on October 28, 2023, from 1 to 4 with a rain date, October 29th.
Number 8, discussion vote on the request for permission to accept a donation of $500 for the Council of Aging. This is a very generous donation from Kevin and Paula O'Donnell. So thank you very much. If you're out there, I'm sure the Council of Aging really does appreciate this. Any comments from my peers?
No, thank you again to the O'Donnells. Thank you.
Nope. Then I'd like to make a motion. The board moves to approve on behalf of the Council of the Aging, a $500 donation from Kevin and Paula O'Donnell of Marshfield. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the generous donation to the Council on Aging for $500 from Kevin and Paula O'Donnell.
All right, we've already done 9. I'll move on to 10. 10 is a discussion vote for the request of permission for accept donation of
Striping.
striping,
Yes.
valued at $500 for facilities. Any discussion here?
This is actually for the dog park.
I see it right here. So it's included in the handicapped area out front?
Yes.
It's time and materials?
Yes.
Discussion?
No, sir.
If not, then I would like to make a motion that the board moves to accept on behalf of the Facilities Department a donation of $500 worth of striping for the dog park parking lot. For a second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept $500 worth of striping for the dog park parking lot.
We've done 9, so we're going to go on to 10. Discussion vote to request permission to accept donation. Oh, we just did that, sorry.
It's 11.
We're going to go on to 11 then. Discussion vote on appointment of acting town accountant. Number 11. Discussion from my colleagues on the board.
If Lynn doesn't.
Yeah, so we're moving to appoint Sue Flynn to the position of interim town accountant effective September 5th. Can you just
That is correct.
explain that?
So we need someone to take over for Ian Bastille. We need an official town accountant. So Sue is certified and been trained and certified many years ago. She's the assistant now, so she'll move up and she'll be compensated as the interim town accountant until we have a successful campaign to locate a new town accountant.
This is the same procedure that we used for the treasurer position.
Correct, same thing. Yep.
Exactly. So I'd like to make a motion that the board moves to approve Sue Flynn, and thank you, Sue, for helping us out to the position of interim town accountant effective September 5th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve Sue Finn to the interim town accountant effective September 5th.
Next is discussion vote on the application for a peddler's license for Miss Emily Food Truck. Any discussion from my colleagues on item number 14?
No, sir.
No.
Everything seems to be in order. Miss Emily's Food Truck, so I'd like to make a motion that the board moves to approve a peddler's license for Kevin Norton of Situate for Miss Emily Food Truck with the hours of operation from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. daily, pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department, Marshfield Board of Health, and Marshfield Fire Department. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the peddler's license for Kevin Norton of Situate for Miss Emily Food Truck.
All right, next is number 15, discussion vote for request for permission to waive fees relative to the replacement of a gas convection ovens at the Marshfield Public Schools from the Building Department. I assume there's no concerns or comments from my colleagues?
No, sir.
All right, then I'd like to make a motion, the board moves to waive the gas and other premise relative to the replacement of the gas convection ovens at the various Marshfield Public Schools for Sean Biogi, Coastline Plumbing. Look for a second.
Second.
Second. Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
I'll get a name right one of these days.
Bonnie.
Bongi. Jesus. At least I'm consistent.
It was okay. That was okay.
At least I'm consistent.
So motion
Yes.
made, duly second. Roll
Yes,
call is in order.
seconded, and
Mr.
I said
Kilcoyne,
yes.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to waive the gas
I know we have.
permit relative replacement of gas convection ovens, Marshfield Public Schools, Sean Bonney, Coastline Plumbing.
Okay. Number 16 is discussion vote of request of permission to waive the fees relative to the replacement of a water main at Cross Street Building Department. Comments, concerns?
No, sir.
No, okay, I'd like to make a motion, the board moves to waive the floodplain permit fees pertaining to the replacement of 185 linear feet of water main located at 15 Cross Street, 55 Cross Street, across from South River for the DPW project and building department. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to waive the floodplain permit fee pertaining to replacement of the water main at 15 Cross Street and 55 Cross Street for the DPW project and the building department.
All right, we've covered the others, so now we can move on to 19. 19, discussion vote on appointment to Council of Aging, David Cheney?
Cheney.
This was an A then. See, it's E
It's
and
the
E-Y.
English phonetics.
Cheney. Any comments that either of my colleagues would like to make?
No, sir.
I believe it's spelled and pronounced the same way as Dick Cheney.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
I was going to
Yes,
say that,
yes.
but then.
Well, that's a good point. I have heard his name before. Okay, so Mr. Cheney, I'd like to make a motion that the board moves to approve the appointment of Mr. Cheney to fill the vacancy on the Council of Aging Board created by Maureen Sanders, who has resigned to deal with a personal issue. David will finish Maureen's term on the Council of Aging Board, and I really appreciate him stepping up. I know he's got the credentials, he's going to do a great job. Look for a second.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the appointment of David Cheney.
Cheney.
Fill the vacancy on the Council on Aging.
We're going to pass over 20. Then we are going to do 21, which I'd like to make a motion that we vote to accept the minutes from August 11th and August 21st meetings 2023. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve and accept the minutes, August 11th and August 21st.
I would now like to make a motion that we move into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining that if conducted in open session may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the town, and we will not return to public session. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Just one quick question. Are there any updates you feel would be substantive for executive?
Yes, yeah, well, we can do the executive session in 5 to 10 minutes, depending on questions.
Cool. Aye. Thank you.
Okay. Motion made and
Withholding
seconded.
your eye?
Yeah.
Okay,